time, Cleveland tries to rub some pepper onto the Chiefs' wounds, but could they make Joe sneeze? In Buffalo, the Bills on the brink again, but packing a machine gun against Green Bay. This is becoming an all-too-common sight for the world champs. Bledsoe has the arm. Junior has the eyes. Who'll get the prize in Foxborough? Are you kidding me? In Cincy, Blake and the Bengals going for 3 in a row, but Marshall had another plan. We know the Jets can fly, but can they reach the moon? Meanwhile, the fish that could have saved Pittsburgh returns. And another Eagles reunion, this time by a dark desert highway. Some choose to remember, no one will forget. Prime time. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman, and welcome to week number 12 of NFL Prime Time. Some intriguing results, some backing up by some top teams, some moving forward by some teams in the pack. To help us figure it all out here on the last Sunday before Thanksgiving, as usual, Tom Jackson. And my goodness, Robin Roberts at Virginia Slims, the man who would be king, Earl Morrall of the NFL set, Chris Myers. And this deserves a wow. Welcome.
Thanks. Good to be. Hopefully we can keep the perfect season rolling.
Thank you. I paid him to say that. We have plenty to show you. First, though, let's get you caught up on the late games. 2 minutes to go. The Jets are looking to upset Minnesota at the Metrodome, where the Vikings, up till now, are the last undefeated team at home. They are 4-0 undefeated at home. That's in jeopardy. Jets lead that 31-21. Marcus Turner with a pair of interceptions there. The Eagles have the ball inside the 30 of Arizona. They're driving at about the 2-minute warning. That's about 2:07 to go now. Arizona leading Philadelphia in a game of 5-card Charlie, 12-6. The Saints have just scored. They're lining up to kick right now. It's a 24-19. Is that correct? We understand the Saints have scored. We'll get you updated. The Raiders lead that game by 5 with about 2 to go. Atlanta goes in without Rison suspended, and they're looking to upset the Broncos at Mile High, Tom. 5:20 to go. Atlanta leads the Broncos 28-25. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers snatch defeat from the jaws of victory as Seattle has scored very late. Mac Strong with an 8-yard run. And Seattle has won in the Kingdome over the Tampa Bay Bucs 22-21. And I know you'll be sticking around for highlights of that game. Of course, we have football tonight. The team in the driver's seat in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers at 8-2 face their longtime rivals, the LA Rams, who oddly enough do better against the Niners at Candlestick, where tonight's game is, than they do at Anaheim. Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, and Mike Patrick on the call. Let's get a preview with Michael.
Thank you, Chris. San Francisco, of course, coming off that huge win last week over Dallas, one of the biggest in the history of their franchise. But they need another win tonight to keep even with the Cowboys for the best record in the conference. Their opponents, the Rams, have lost 8 straight to the 49ers, and they come in tonight with a myriad of health problems on offense. For more on that and the latest news from the field, here's Mark Malone.
Thanks, Mike. Let's start at quarterback first for the Rams. Chris Chandler, inactive, will not play because of a severely sprained left ankle. He received that a week ago. The decision made earlier today after Chandler kind of hobbled through some quarterback drills. Chris Miller will start in his place. Miller's still suffering some side effects of a concussion he received almost a month ago. When you do a quarterback comparison on these two, you can see this move might hurt the Rams. Chandler has led the offense to 75 points in just 35 drives, very productive, while Miller's only managed 78 points with almost double the drive opportunities. And it gets worse for Miller. His offensive line is beat up, and his go-to guy, Flipper Anderson, didn't work all week because of a thigh bruise. He did, however, run earlier this afternoon and is expected to start. You add to the list third down running back Johnny Bailey, who's got a severely strained abdominal muscle. He's out. You can see the Rams have their work cut out for them on offense tonight. For the Niners, defensive end Dennis Brown pulled his hamstring on Friday. He's questionable. Look to see a lot of Charles Mann. And Mr. Primetime, Deion Sanders, says his dislocated finger is still bothering him, but he says he's not going to miss the spotlight. Expect to see a lot of him tonight, Boomer.
All right, Mark, prime time, 1 hour from now when prime time is over. Niners, Rams at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, 3 in Hawaii. When we return on NFL Prime Time, big game at Kansas City. Could Derek Thomas get to the Browns, or would Cleveland withstand his onslaught? Welcome back to NFL Primetime. A late check of the scores. Minnesota has the ball with just over a minute to go. They still trail the Jets by 10. We'll keep you posted. Philadelphia, a fourth down play, did not convert. Arizona takes over a minute 44 to go in their own territory, hoping to salt away their 6-point win over the Philadelphia Eagles. The Raiders and the Saints, 24-19. Saints went for 2, didn't get it. Raiders recovered the onside kick, trying to run out the clock. Elway down to the 2-yard line. Close to 2 minutes to go at Mile High. The Broncos trying to come from behind and take the lead over the Falcons, who still lead at 28-25. When we return on NFL Primetime, we'll show you the action in Week 12. And we start off with East meeting West. Marion Butts against his old mates, the Lightning Bolts. Pats, Bolts, in a moment. At the top of the hour, Steve Young off that great performance against the Cowboys, trying to keep he and the Niners rolling. Niners host the Rams Sunday Night Football on ESPN coming up. John Elway has done it again. He has just taken a quarterback draw in from about the 2-yard line with just over 2 minutes to play. They're lining up for the kick now, but the Broncos have taken the lead over the Falcons 31-28. A fine game at Mile High. Highlights later. Both San Diego and New England coming off superlative performances last week. I mean, San Diego, their win at Kansas City, coming from behind in the rain and everything else. That was the biggest game of the year in the AFC. And Drew Bledsoe winning in overtime with 70 passes. Question, what do you do if you're these two teams for an encore? Well, San Diego certainly in a tough spot. They went cross-country for their 3rd straight road game. And they played a team that they haven't played since 1983, since the days of Air Coryell. Here we go, the Chargers and the Patriots. And Air Parcells with Drew Bledsoe facing off against Joe Cap Jr., Stan Humphries. Bledsoe starting the way he ended last week to the fullback Kevin Turner. Bledsoe to the fullback Kevin Turner, and the Patriots short passing game working. Then he goes long to another one of his running backs. They can't run it, but they throw to it. Leroy Thompson down the middle, touchdown New England. They lead it 7-0. But Bledsoe knew that he would be eyed by Junior Seau all day long. Bledsoe back to best. Now watch Seau with the rush, and he's intercepted by Dennis Gibson Guitar. But Tommy, they flag it. What happened?
Yeah, they call roughing the passer here, but watch closely. Seau makes the attempt to avoid the lick. That's a horrible call by the official.
Awful call. The Patriots maintain position. They lead at 10-0 at the half. But the Chargers don't give up trailing. Andre Coleman after a bar field goal. Hey, look at him go. He
could
go.
Wait.
Oh, I'm tired. I can't handle it myself. It's 13-10. The Chargers within 3 at the end of 3 quarters. Natron means business usually, although on most plays today, the Patriots did a good job stacking them up. Here is Means busting out to the right side. Big guy with some quick feet for 13 yards. First 1,000-yard rusher since Marion Butts did it for the Chargers in 90, who, of course, was across the field. But Butts had more yards than Means. Means only 59 today. Butts had 88. Marion Butts drives through tacklers for a big game. Setting up down to the 1-yard line. We don't throw it, we run it. Marion Butts, 1 yard. Patriots lead it 20-10. Bill Parcells says, sick 'em, guys. Chris Slade, remember the rock group? Mama, we're all crazy now. He had 1 sack of Humphries. He had 2 sacks of Humphries, and Tommy wasn't done.
Yeah, we saw the entire repertoire from Chris Slade there, the overarm and the inside move. Then you see him come back right here with the nice overarm. And again, getting to Humphries for the sack.
Overarm, underarm. Humphries needed deodorant. He was sacked 5 times, 3.5 times by Slade. And the Patriots, boy, what a streaky team this is. They're over 500, then had the month-long losing streak. Now they've won 2 in a row, beating the Vikings and Chargers, 2 division leaders, and a P-Men win it by the count of 23-17. And in a game when, you know, it wasn't really Bledsoe, the Patriots actually ran the ball. Kind of an odd start to this one.
Well,
Tommy.
I thought the rushing statistics were very revealing. At halftime, the San Diego Chargers had 16 yards. The New England Patriots had 50 yards. The pressure came to Stan Humphries. The one thing that the Patriots wanted to do was force Humphries out of the pocket. They ran some great inside stunts, got some people free, got pressure on the quarterback, and Chris Slade, an outstanding day, 3.5 sacks.
So I don't want to detract what New England did today because they played a better game than San Diego. But look, you're playing a 1 o'clock game on your 3rd straight road game all the way cross country. You're 8-2. Fly on Friday. Don't fly on Saturday and kick it off at 10 a.m. your time. They started sluggish. I'm not trying to tell the Chargers what to do, but I'm not so sure in this case that they players and coaches got their best opportunity to win, especially the way they started the game. First 6 games, Chargers won them all. Offense rolling, 15 TDs, just allowed 5 sacks. Last 5 games in which they are 2-3, just 7 offensive TDs, 14 sacks allowed. It's a long run, and San Diego has the next 3 at home. 4 of the last 5 games are at home. They're a tired squad, and they'll look to regroup at the Murph. Talking about regrouping, Bills needed to do it against the Pack. I think Kelly and Andre Reed were on the same page today, Tom. We'll be back. We'd like to welcome those of you that have watched the Jets upset the Minnesota Vikings 31-21. Highlights coming up. Also like to welcome those of you that have watched Arizona win round 2 of the Buddy vs. Eagles Bowl, 12-6 Cards. And like to welcome those of you that watched the Raiders go over 500 for the first time all year as they hold on to defeat the Saints 24-19. Now time to welcome our longtime compatriot, but first time in the seat, Chris Myers. And Chris, I mean, the Colts, Bengals, on paper, you know, not a lot happening here, but Don Majkowski used to be Magic. Jeff Blake, Magic now, isn't he?
Right, riding the hot hands of the 2 quarterbacks. Also an interesting twist, Chris, the game matching the first 2 draft choices of the recent NFL draft. And Marshall Faulk, the number 2 pick, had been outplaying Dan Wilkinson, the number 1 pick. But nobody over the last few games has been outplaying Jeff Blake. 350 yards in back-to-back games. The last Bengal quarterback to do that, Boomer Esiason in 1987. Blake doesn't want to be the Gus Frerotte of November. Try to help the Bengals win their 3rd straight for the first time since September of 1990. Marshall Faulk trying the right side, and Big Daddy Wilkinson in on the tackle along with linebacker Ricardo McDonald. In fact, Faulk just 28 yards on 16 carries. He did have a touchdown. His longest run of the day, only 5 yards. This game really a tale, though, of 2 drives. 3rd quarter, 7-6. Blake to Carl Pickens for 14 yards and a Bengal first down. And then 3rd and 3 in the same drive. Blake can't find the open receiver. He keeps it himself. An added dimension, his awareness, a 16-yard pickup and a Bengal first down. And then to cap off the drive, watch how patient he is. Looking for Darnay Scott, the former San Diego State teammate of Marshall Faulk. An 80-yard drive, 13-7 Bengals after the extra point. TJ, how did Scott get so open here?
Chris, you said it. Look at the great feel that Blake has for the pocket. He steps up very nicely, delivers across his body like you're not supposed to, but the end result is all that counts.
And Marchibroda likes Majkowski in there because he throws the ball downfield much better than Harbaugh. 4th quarter, ball on the Cincy 37 with a 13 Bengal lead. Majkowski to Dawkins 4 plays later. Dawkins again squirts in for the touchdown. 17-13 Colts lead under 2 minutes to play. Majkowski 4 of 4 on the drive. Jeff Blake's father, Emery, a little bit concerned watching the game with 59 seconds left. Bengals have the ball at the Colt 38. Blake a chance to be the hero, going for the end zone, and Darnay Scott intercepted by Ray Buchanan. The Bengals wanted a flag. They did not get the call.
Yeah, you watch Darnay Scott here. Watch the left arm of Ray Buchanan. Right there, you see the good push, the separation. It's not called. It's a good play by the defense.
All right, Blake a little frustrated. Tough loss as the Colts in the playoff picture with a 17-13 win. 5th win in the last 6 years for the Colts at Cincinnati. And as we said, Faulk held to just 28 yards. Wilkinson has been improving with each game. The Colts will host New England next week. They'll face the Patriots again and still have Miami and Buffalo on their schedule. Lions and Bears in Chicago. Dave Craig and Steve Walsh, the starting quarterbacks. Dave Wannstedt has his team in the wild card hunt. Walsh has been outstanding as a starter for Chicago, the former Saint and Cowboy cast-off. Dumping off here to rookie Raymond Harris, who picks up 16 yards. The Bears working their Rush Limbaugh offense, very conservative here. And then the ground game to Lewis Tillman through the hole on the left side. And then Robert Green goes right up the middle for 9 yards. TJ, look who's leading the way on this.
Yeah, Raymond Harris picking up some good blocking slack here as he comes through and seals off Mike Johnson, allows Green a nice little crease to get some yardage.
The Bears had the ball so long they switch ends, and then Lewis Tillman in for the touchdown from a yard out. A drive of nearly 9 minutes, 87 yards. They kept Barry Sanders off the field much of this game. Tillman with 126 yards rushing against Wayne Font's defense. But his defense rallies here. Just the 7th interception by Detroit's defense this season. Benny Blades picking off Walsh on this one. And then Dave Craig. Nice play action here for Brett Perryman. A 40-yard pickup down to the 9. Craig staying in this league with action like this.
Yeah, what makes this play is Barry Sanders, his ability to run the ball, pulls up the defense when Craig makes the fake, and a nice delivery of the football to Perriman.
Lion passing game may be better off with Craig in there instead of Scott Mitchell. And here he hooks up with Herman Moore. Moore's 9th touchdown of the season. It's a 7-7 game. What about Barry Sanders? Well, when he was in, he didn't do much because of the outstanding Chicago defense. He has no place to go up the middle. Barry going to try the left side. Nothing happening there. Sanders going to try the right side, and not good. After 233 yards last week, just over 40 yards on 11 carries. He didn't get much of a chance. Now watch this play. The Bears come off a 12-minute drive. They had a field goal. They're kicking off in the third quarter here, Tom.
The reason most onside kicks are not gotten by the kicking team is that there's no deception. Here, the Chicago Bears do a great job of deceiving the Lions. Get the ball. Jeff Magnum recovers.
A little trickery last week and this week, and here he is, the Jay Barker of the NFL, the bionic arm. Steve Walsh hooking up with Jeff Grimm. He says, take that to all of you who criticize my arm strength, but that offensive line got it done. Walsh 25 of 31, so good percentage, only 185 yards as the Bears take the Lions 20-10. As we mentioned, Tillman 126 yards, Perriman 6 catches for 120 yards. The Lions will host the Bills on Thanksgiving. Chicago plays Arizona next. And Chris, Dave Wannstedt, hey, if you're voting right now at 7-4, Coach of the Year based on that he doesn't have an impact player on either side of the ball, a true impact player.
Well, they're tied for first place, and a week from Thanksgiving night on ESPN, a Thursday night game, Chicago, Minnesota. A lot of folks didn't think that would mean much. It means a lot now. Y'all come back now.
Well, stay tuned for that.
All right, well, I tell you what, we go into the annals of primetime, the best of primetime for this lead-in. We used it earlier this year against Miami. We used it earlier this year when the Blues played Kansas City, but I think it bears noting again. The Jenny Cream was flat. The Buffalo Wings were cold. The Buzzards were circling Orchard Park, New York, in search of the end of the Buffalo Bills. All of the football world wanted to see the Bills out of the playoff picture. But as somebody sitting in this chair once said, shame on ye of little faith. The Bills playing the Packers. Jim Kelly, his hand bruised so much, couldn't throw in practice all week. Of course, he and Andre Reed, bruised egos, yelling at each other all week. But now it's game time. Opening drive. Kelly, Reed, 14 yards, first down. Kelly, inside the red zone to Thurman Thomas, knocked out at the 6. That sets up Thurman Thomas, 5-yard touchdown. One drive, one touchdown, 7-0 Buffalo. Kelly 4 for 4 on the drive. Second possession for the Bills. Kelly, Reed, jukes Corey Harris, picks up 14 yards. Few plays later, Kelly from the 15. Think he'll go to Andre Reed? I think so. Touchdown. 14-0, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Bills lead 17-0 third drive. That's a field goal, but Bruce Smith not playing on defense. But some of the others, feeling his absence, picked up a tad, and Mickey Washington picks off this fluttering Favre pass and returns it all the way down to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, Brett Favre does a great job of getting back, getting himself set, steps into the throw, and every now and then, even an NFL quarterback just loses a ball as he's letting it go. This one just got away. Mickey Washington, a nice break on the football.
Well, and Washington's play sets up from the 10. Kelly, Reed, touchdown! 24-0 Buffalo in a laugher. 8 catches for Dre for 104 and 2 TDs in the first half alone. Jim Kelly in the first half. So much for the bruise and the cuts and the pounding he took on Monday night. He's 20-26 in the first half. But the Pack come back. Brett Favre and company can do it. Who'd you go to, Tom?
I'd go to Sterling Sharp.
Good idea. Between 2 defenders, 28 yards, 98 straight games. Sharp caught a pass. Last time he didn't catch one was in Orchard Park in 1988. 27-6 Buffalo at the half. Third quarter, Favre to Edgar Allan Poe Bennett. First 27-13. Quote the Raven, nevermore. I don't think so. The Packers are coming back until Reggie White hurts his left elbow. Mike Holmgren obviously concerned. White, a sprained elbow, did not return. Next possession for the Pack, though, and it's Edgar Bennett again. He's stepping up here as the Pack have won 3 in a row going into this game. 17 yards and a good run, Tom.
Yeah, you see very few big men who have this skill. Probably Natron Means at the top of the list. Edgar Bennett, though, watch the footwork as he comes through the line of scrimmage, does a great little tap dance to get by people, powers over Mickey Washington, number 25 there, and gets a nice 17-yard gain.
Wow, the Bills thought they had this one easily, but 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Favre, Sterling Sharp, 26 yards, and the Bills lead us down to 27-20. Mid-fourth quarter, Buffalo needs to churn some time. Guess how they do it? Kelly to Reed, picks up a first down. Guess how they do it? Kelly to Reed, picks up a first down. Christie would hit the upright with a field goal attempt, so it's still a 7-point game, but time off the clock. Now the Pack in the shadow of their own end zone, but Favre fears no evil. Hanson with the rush, not there. Anthony Morgan with the flyer down to the 30, but holding on Joe Sims of Green Bay. Not only does it negate the play, it's holding in the end zone. It's a safety and a 9-point lead. Andre Reed, the fourth best performance in number of catches in the history of the NFL. Two pretty good receivers right there, Sharp and Reed. 15 for 191 for Andre Reed as the Bills beat the Packers 29-20. Jim Kelly throwing for the most yards that he has in 2.5 years, 32 of 44 for 365. As the Bills 53-9 at home since 1988. Well, the Bills have that short week, go to Thanksgiving. But you know, Tom, you don't need me to get on my soapbox. I don't think anybody does. If you think they're done in the AFC, just look again.
You know, we talked about this upstairs. I think there are very few teams in the history of sport who can go through the kind of inner turmoil that the Bills went through on Monday night. Andre Reed and Jim Kelly, the principals in that, and come back and forget about it and play ball today. I thought that what you saw Andre Reed do, that every time Kelly had to throw the ball somewhere, they knew he wasn't going to have a lot of time, a la Monday night, he gave him a place to take the football. And I think that the character of this team always comes up to the standard that they need in order to play and win.
Bruce Smith said it this week. I mean, the team has to stay together, and they played like family. Yes. Nobody in this conference knows more about winning than the Buffalo Bills. Well, nobody in the NFL this year knows more about winning a quarterback than Steve Walsh. He's 6-0 in his starts for Chicago.
I think that Steve Walsh, when you talk to coaches around the league, they say he knows his limitations. He's a great field general. When he came into the league, he used to try to throw the 50-yard pass, the 40-yard pass, 45 yards downfield. He realized that he couldn't do that. Now what he does, he picks teams apart short. And as for the Detroit Lions, I think we saw what the Lions look like when Barry Sanders doesn't run the football real well.
44 minutes, 12 seconds of possession for the Chicago Bears, like the old Bears of Bronco Nagurski. The fourth most catches in the history of the NFL. There are others at 15, but only Tom Fears with the Rams in 1950, Clark Gaines with the Jets in that Richard Todd game that Bledsoe broke the record of in 1980, Sonny Randall with the 62 Cards, 18, 17, and 16. Those are the only guys that have ever caught more passes than Andre Reed did today. You know, his 56 touchdown passes from Jim Kelly, that's the third highest combo in NFL history. Dan Marino coming home to Pittsburgh. Would the Steelers make it a tough homecoming? We'll show you. Welcome back to Primetime. We'd like to welcome those of you that have watched the Denver Broncos come from behind and beat the Atlanta Falcons 32-28. The Broncos now 5-6, home next week against Cincinnati. Highlights a little bit later on in Primetime. Well, in the AFC Central, 8-2 Cleveland, 7-3 Pittsburgh. Kind of the same sort of team. No offense or very little, but really outstanding defenses. Both were tested today. Cleveland paid a visit to the home of their old mentor, Marty Schottenheimer, whose teams have never lost back-to-back games at Arrowhead. And remember, the Chiefs lost last week to San Diego. Another Hardreen was going to fall, babe, at Kansas City. And Joe Montana in the rain had his trouble. The ball fluttering over Derek Walker's outstretched arm. Shh, quiet, stop raining, and be quiet. Montana scrambling to Tracy Green, a touchdown. 7-0 Kansas City. Joe was 19 of 33 today when they finally quieted down. Natalie Clad, Bill Belichick, not so Natalie Clad today. So did Mark Rippon for the third straight week. A bad throw to Metcalf. But then after a 6-yard punt return by Mark Carrier, Rippon fumbles a snap, and Tracy Simeon recovers, so the Browns blow a heck of an opportunity. Rip 1 of 7 in the first half. So enter Vincenzo. Vinny Testaverde in the second quarter. Back to pass. First time we've seen him in 3 weeks. Hey, incomplete. Vinny comes back, though. Doesn't look great, but a little dumper to Eric Metcalf. Look at him dance and move and get into the end zone to 15 yards. Testaverde only 4-12 for 38, but Tommy, he's gotten the Browns on the board. But it was Kansas City defense today.
Yeah, the Chiefs would answer with some good defense from their linebackers here. George Jameson, a great job of getting in, stripping the football, and he gets a triple play. He recovers the ball, he gets up, and I love to see a linebacker run like that.
Yeah, especially when he wears number 57, and it's close to orange. I know. This play set up a field goal, 10-6 Chiefs. Testaverde out, Rypien back. And Rypien goes back, and finally healthy is Michael Jackson, a gain of 22 yards. Then Rip likes the way it looks. Rypien back and hits. Michael Jackson breaks through, almost into Graceland here. So yes, he is. 15-yard touchdown, and Cleveland leads it 13-10. Rip trying to look for more, but Dale Carter, number 34, snags the overthrown pass, and Kansas City ties it up with a field goal to make it 13-13. And watch Joe Montana. This is well, we're going to do it. The NBA season's open. A two-handed chest pass to Donnell Bennett. And then it sets up first and goal. Jack B. Kimball. Jack B. Quick. Kimball Anderson at the end zone with the candlestick. And the football. Chiefs lead at 20-13. 4th and 8. The Browns' the last chance. Interference. Jay Taylor interferes with Metcalf. Cleveland's drive stays alive. 4th and 13. Look at Rip make this throw on the way down. But illegal contact to Darren Anderson and Mark Carrier. Marty incensed, but on the first down. Defense, though, name of the game, and you talked about it on the game day.
Yeah, Derek Thomas held under control most of the day by Tony Jones. They're a great inside move to get to Rypien and knock the football out.
So the final play by Thomas, and the Chiefs now move within one of the Chargers in the standings of the AFC West as they beat the Cleveland Browns by the count of 20-13. Neither team had 300 yards in total offense, but the Chiefs win without Marcus, Neil Smith, Willie Davis, John Alt, and Mark Collins. So a big, big win for Kansas City. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers, very interested in Cleveland having good trouble with Kansas City. Steelers at home against the Miami Dolphins. Neil O'Donnell since Mike Tomczak making his first start since week 1 last year. Of course, the Steelers offense hadn't been in the end zone in 10 quarters. First drive for Pittsburgh, Tomczak hits one of the Mills brothers, Ernie Mills. You always hurt the one you love. It's 25 yards down to the 4. Sets up a field goal with some questionable play calling on the goal line. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Dan Marino, he from Pittsburgh, sends the long bomb to Irving Fryer against Rod Woodson down to the 2-yard line. 2 plays later. We told you about this on game day. Look from to hit. Oh, let me tell you about Kit Jackson. 2 yards, touchdown. 7-3 Miami, now 7-6 at the half. Carr, though, hits the blitzing. And who is it? It's not Green. It's Jason Gilden, number 92.
Yeah, Dolphins here in a passing situation. The Steelers rush 4 instead of dropping the extra man into coverage. Gilden, a nice job of going inside. He knows he has contained outside. Out sprints Marino for the sack.
So Mike Tomczak, after Stoyanovich misses a 36-yard field goal, and Miami leads at 10-6. Tomczak again to another one of the Mills brothers. No, that's Ernie again. 42 yards in traffic. Next play, Tomczak. Oh, you know you're hot when the ball tips off of Stewart's hands into Eric Green. Joe Green says, wait a minute, I didn't come back here for this. But he did. There's Barry Foster in the middle, touchdown, 10 yards. Steelers at a 13-10. 13 quarters. They're finally in the end zone. That vaunted Steeler offense. Marino, though, for 27 yards after the 2-minute warning in the shadow of his own goalpost. Scott Miller. Then Irving Fryer for 17. Stoyanovich said, just get me a chance. I missed a field goal I wanted to atone. Marino, Michael Williams, who must have got lost singing Jay Giles, went backwards, then went down. Finally, 49 yards. Bring him on. Stoyanovich. It's long enough. It's deep enough. It's good. We go to overtime, tied at 13. Pittsburgh had the ball, first punted. Then Miami has the ball. 3rd and 19. Look at the throw by Marino to O.J. McDuffie. The ball comes loose. Tom ruled incomplete.
Yeah, as you watch that play, though, O.J. McDuffie had the ball, took the 2 steps, probably was a catch and a fumble, not called that way by the official.
Don Shula probably will review it, but it doesn't work because it's now Pittsburgh's ball. Tomczak, the screen to Barry Bananas Foster. Gets his just desserts bowling over Gene Atkins, 28 yards. Now, Gary Anderson says, let me have a crack at it. Tomczak to Eric Green, 14 more. Tomczak threw for 343 yards, most by a Steeler in over a season. From 39 with under 5 minutes to go in overtime. Good! Gary Anderson, it's good. With his 3rd field goal of the day, his 305th lifetime moves him past Jim Turner and Pat Leahy into 4th place all-time, and more important, moves the Steelers into a 1st place tie with Cleveland, who they'll play on the 2nd to last week of the season. Steelers in overtime win it 16-13. They have been the overtime club, and you know, Pittsburgh obviously more of a vaunted defense in Miami, but you saw them blitz and blitz even against Marino. Miami never blitzed Mike Tomczak. That was kind of puzzling to me.
Yeah, I thought that they gave Tomczak much too much time to throw the football. But But when you look at the style of Tom Sack versus O'Donnell, you see Tom Sack being aggressive, throwing the football down the field, trying to hit the wide receivers, not only incorporating his tight end, but getting everybody involved in the offense. And when you start adding up the team concept, you're talking about a great defense with Pittsburgh. They have an outstanding running game that improves when Bell Morris is in the lineup, and now you have a quarterback who's willing to throw the football down the field.
You know, this is a team that the city of Pittsburgh could really relate to because they're not. They're going to work overtime? No problem. They don't even need to get paid time and a half. They get paid in wins. 3 of their last 4 games went to overtime, so they added up 19 quarters in the last 4 games. They scored only 3 touchdowns on offense, but their record is 3-1, and they're tied for first. When we return, Cowboys all of a sudden against the Skins, not the problem. The quarterback injuries are. We'll update you. Deion Sanders, when prime time's done, this prime time is ready. Sanders, Niners against the Rams at the Stick at the top of the hour on Sunday Night Football here on ESPN. 1 week after their loss to the San Francisco 49ers, the champion Dallas Cowboys back in action had appeared what to be an easier assignment at home against the Washington Redskins, a team they had thumped a lot earlier at RFK. Here we go. And Norv Turner used to run the Dallas offense for Jimmy Johnson, now, of course, coaching Washington overall, and he knows what Emmitt Smith can do. Who needs the weight room when you can cut and run and shoot and jive and run for 24 yards and bowl over Daryl Morrison in the process?
Yeah, Moose Johnston, a nice lead block from the fullback position, but look at Nate Newton at the right guard. Look at him come around. Very agile big man, seals his man, allows Emmitt to find a cutback lane for some big yardage.
Well, then Emmitt will take the next handoff and cut outside a left tackle and dive into the end zone. And very quickly, the Cowboys lead it by the count of 14-0. James Washington, a Super Bowl hero, makes a pick on Gus Frerotte. Hop on the bus, Gus. Only 1 of 6 for 18 yards. Take it out in the first quarter. Enter John Freeze from
Idaho.
There you go. Freeze's first series. You know, he did a good job in September for Norm. And he does a good job here hitting Desmond Howard, who drawers his way into the end zone, 17-7. But then here's the play. Ken Harvey, sprained knee on Troy Aikman. Kind of a hit that looks like that Y.A. Tittle hit in that title game in '63. So Rodney Peete takes over. And Pete comes in a 15-yard touchdown to Alvin Harper. Cowboys lead at 24-7, but they're concerned about this. Troy Aikman leaving to go to the hospital. More on that in a moment. Third quarter, the score 24-7. Kevin Williams. He splits the defense. And look at him go. He could go all the way. Makes a couple of great cuts. And like he did at home against Washington last year, another return for a touchdown. This one, 83 yards, hit 31-7. Watch here, Dexter Nottage hits Rodney Pete's hand. Are you kidding? He's hurt too. His right thumb is sprained, and he leaves Jason Garrett in. 4 Cowboys down injury. Barry switches face. Not what we need with the Thursday game against the Pack coming up. What they did need, though, is a nice, easy win over the Redskins, and they got it. Up there, marked to 9-2. Cowboys win it by the count of 31-7, as Emmitt now has 15 touchdowns at 85 yards. Second time in 3 weeks, Eagles at the Cardinals. 2 weeks ago, it was 17-7 to Philadelphia, winning at Vet Stadium. And the Eagles this time went down to Arizona at Tempe to play the Cardinals. And afterwards, this word on the Cowboys.
We all know what Troy Aikman means to this offense, and we really felt Rodney Peete could direct us to a lot of wins. But I think if a supporting cast, there is one that can play and win without their top 2 quarterbacks. The Dallas Cowboys are one of them.
We beat up, man. It's ugly. I'm glad we got a good defense. Our defense is staying consistent, and it's going to be hard on us, but you know what? We're going to run the table, baby. We got 5 balls left, and we're going to run the table.
Well, the silver lining for the Cowboys, of course, Jerry Jones, though that Alvin Harper's injury in the Monday night against the Giants was awful, that he wouldn't play against the 49ers. He did, and he played pretty well. But the no more than 24 to 36 hours with the game coming up on Thursday, there's no way they could even sign somebody like a DeBerg or, dare I say, Philly Thims of ESPN to get him in on time. And so it'll probably be Jason Garrett from Princeton starting against the Pack, unless one of those 2 injured quarterbacks comes around quickly in 24 hours. So I was so excited about that Arizona-Philadelphia game that I wanted to talk about it, so why don't we show it to you, too? Second time in 3 weeks, these 2 teams have played. Steve Berline, Steve. Obviously, that's Gatorade getting ready for a couple of weeks from now when he's healthy. Jay Schrader started, went to Gary Clark, incomplete. The Cardinals settled for field goal lead at 3-0. Second quarter, Schrader is a pass tipped by William Fuller, and the Cards get a field goal at 6-3 at the half. Schrader then will run. And Jay is going to be stopped short of a first down with the score 6-3 in the third. Greg Davis, 3 field goals, all from 24 yards out, and then added a fourth one from 39. That was the Cards O. The Cards D, well, that's not bad, is it, Tom? Eric Swan sacks Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, Keith McCann's here at the top of your screen, and Eric Swan right next to him. They'll run a nice little outside, inside twist. You see the inside move by McCann, and once he gets inside, he makes a beeline over to Randall Cunningham.
The Eagles looking for a big play. Remember, they got a couple of them. Cunningham to Barnett a couple of weeks ago, and Herschel Walker. Look at him take the kickoff after all these years and go up the right sideline. And he could go all the way. Herschel Walker returns kicks, but Rich Miano holding. Bring it back. Randall, though, leads the Eagles downfield himself inside the 20 to Fred Barnett, but Aeneas Williams picks it off at the 1, his 6th pick. Late in the fourth quarter, Eagles still have a shot here, trailing by just 6. Cunningham for Calvin Williams. Does he get it? Why? He just can't get the feet in. Left knee is out of bounds. Eagles' last chance. 4th and 11 at the 24. Cunningham to Calvin Williams. Zing! It's a little high. He can't pull it in for the first down, and the Cards have split their series. Buddy Curran against Buddy's pass. Cards win today 12-6. And the Eagles now fall 2 games off Dallas's pace in the NFC East. When we return, plenty more on this edition of Prime Time. Ronnie Lott still laying the proverbial lumber after all these years. Could the Jets lay it to the Vikes up north? Back at NFL Primetime, Falcons with a run-and-shoot offense. A little chilly in Denver this week, Chris, but no snow, and maybe that was a good sign for Atlanta to give Denver a run at Mile High.
Yeah, a lot of air traffic. It was like O'Hare. John Elway, Jeff George throwing in a game that'll send defensive coordinators into therapy. Both the Broncos and Falcons fighting for wild card playoff spots. Atlanta having to fight without Andre Rison. You know about his suspension for this game, but they're more worried about this game and maybe a playoff shot. At Mile High Stadium, Falcons with Jeff George running the controls against John Elway on the Broncos. On 3rd and 15, Elway going to air it out for Cedric Tillman. Third-year man from Alcorn State, and he picks up a gain of 60-plus yards. Tillman had 128 receiving yards in the first quarter alone. Broncos up 17-14. Jeff George hitting Terrence Mathis for a 47-yard touchdown play. 21-17, the Falcons go up, and then early we move to further action in the fourth quarter. George again, rolling right, under pressure. Mathis somehow got wide open. A 50-yard play, and a great play on both ends, Tom, by Mathis and George.
Yeah, as we focus in on Terrence Mathis, who's having an outstanding year, you see why. He sees the quarterback in trouble. He cuts across the field, gets to an open area, gives George a place to release the football.
28-17 Falcons. Elway trying to bring his team back. He leads comebacks. That's his job. That's what he does. And there's Anthony Miller, a 28-25 lead. 5 minutes left. Elway trying to lead his team back, looking for Glenn Milburn for a pickup of 12 yards. And then a 3rd and long for Elway. This is the play of the game. He connects with Reggie Rivers over the middle down to the 12-yard line, but it looked like a fumble, and it looked like the Falcons came away with it.
Well, they say there's magic in Mile High Stadium. Reggie Rivers here gets hit, and right there, you see the ball pop out just before he was down. Should have been called a fumble, but the Broncos retained possession.
Magic officials. Rivers hangs on for the Bronco first down, and then Elway scrambling down to the 3-yard line. And you know what's coming next on 1st and goal. The comeback touchdown for the victory. Elway keeps it himself, and he leads the Broncos another comeback. He's had more comebacks than Shirley McLean. Denver staying in the playoff picture. Elway 2 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing. Mathis 8 catches, 163 yards and 2 scores. But Atlanta on the losing end of a tough one at Mile High. Bucs and Seahawks, their first meeting since their first 2 years in the league during the regular season. And at the Kingdome, Tom Flores and the Seahawks hoping to snap a 6-game skid. Bucs defense has been tough lately, except when facing Barry Sanders. How about Chris Warren? He must have saw some of that game film, rushing for 10 yards, and then Rick Meyer flipping it to him for a 3-yard touchdown, and Seattle on top of the Bucs, 7-0.
Yeah, good day for Warren. You watch here as tackle Ray Roberts is going to get a good lead block on Marty Carter. Warren does a nice job of picking the hole and sliding to the outside for a good 12-yard gain. And then sometime a runner just has to do it on his own. Here Warren takes the ball, and it's a job of shoddy tackling by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as he breaks 3 tackles on his way down the field for 20 yards.
Over 100 yards in the first half. Warren goes over 1,000 yards for the 3rd straight year, but injured in the game. Rick Meyer to John Vaughn for a touchdown to give Seattle a 13-0 lead. And the point after, and this was big, Rick Tootin's going to run it in off the hold, and it's 15-0 Seahawks. Remember that play because the Bucs rally on 4th and goal. Erickson to Courtney Hawkins. It's now 15-7. First Bucs touchdown in 9 quarters. Then in the 3rd quarter, here's where Warren got knocked out. Thomas Everett, the former Cowboy and Steeler, on a tough hit. Warren left with a hip injury, did not return in the game. 4th quarter, Bucs trailing 15-10. Erickson for Hawkins. 14 yards, 2nd touchdown of the game, 16-15 Bucs. The 2-point conversion makes it 18-15 Bucs. A minute 29 left, 4th and 12. Meyer to Brian Blades, just short of the 1st down marker, but an illegal contact foul on the Bucs called. Gives them the ball back. No timeouts. They called a sweep to Max Strong. That ties it. Extra point gives the Seahawks the 22-21 victory. The Bucs for sale asking price just went down on that one as Tampa let that one get away. Meyer throws for 2 touchdowns along with Erickson. The Seahawks have won every meeting against Tampa. Chris?
The Jets and Vikes, Chris, hadn't met since 1982. Here they go at the Metrodome. The Vikes were 4-0. They're not saying that to me, are they? I didn't think so. They were saying that to Boomer Esiason of the Jets. Warren Moon of the Vikings driving through the hands of Adrian Cooper and Marcus Turner. Playing for the injured Aaron Glenn. Let him go. 89 yards all the way. Jets are the ones returning interceptions for touchdowns, not the Vikes. 7-0 Jets. Dennis Green worried. He saw a big lead slip away last week at New England. 2nd quarter, 10-7 Jets. Moon, Jake Reed. And he goes 49 yards before Brian Washington finally knocks him down. That sets up. The guy, all he does is catch touchdowns. Chris Carter, 6 yards for Moon, 14-10 Vikes. Pete Carroll, remember, an assistant coach there for 4 or 5 years, and he's a little bit worried.
Yeah, you get down into the red zone, you have to be aware of the pick play. Here you see Marcus Turner trying to cover Carter. Comes across the formation. The 2 inside receivers do a nice job of shielding him off. Becomes an easy 6-yard score.
Boomer Esiason, his offense has not scored more than 25 points all year long, but look at Boomer in the 2-minute drill. Feels the rush and dumps it to Rob Moore. 19 yards, what a nice season he's had before he goes out of bounds. Then Esiason to the rookie Ryan Yarborough. His first NFL touchdown, 11 yards. Jets lead 17-14. Moon takes command. Brian Billick, offensive coordinator, says, all right, just throw it, Warren. So he throws it, but Marcus Turner again, a leaping interception at the goal line for his 2nd and a half. Warren knew he short-armed it just a tad. 3rd quarter with the Jets with the lead on the move. Esiason, the much-maligned Johnny's Mitchell. 33 yards between defenders. 2 plays later, Esiason, Moore, touchdown. Jets lead 24-14, Tom.
Yeah, you're going to see Johnny Mitchell here run a hookup right at the line. You see all 3 defenders go toward Johnny Mitchell. They get the touchdown at the back of the end zone to Moore.
Why were they looking for Mitchell? He caught 11 for 120. That's why. One of his biggest days as a pro. Still 24-14, the Jets in the 4th quarter. Esiason for Arthur Monk, who's now caught passes in 175 straight games. Their record is 177 by Largent. Esiason, 22 of 29, 3 TDs, no picks. Vikings down by 10. Moon tries to come back, and guess who it is? Marcus Turner with his 3rd interception of the day. 4 picks in all. So on a day when Warren Moon was 33 of 50 for 400 yards, the 4 picks coupled with none for the Vikes for the 2nd straight week. And the Jets pull a stunner. They beat Minnesota at the Metrodome 31-21. The Jets now 1 back of Miami in the AFC East, who they host next week at the Meadowlands. Saints and the Raiders. Ref, what time is it? Well, what time is it? Give me the, wait a minute. Not for me. I won't accept that collect call. 1st quarter. Raiders accept the collect call. Haas, the Tim Brown, 12 yards. Raiders lead 7-0, looking to go over 500 for the first time this year. Haas fired up, Tom.
Yeah, you're going to see as Everett gets back here to pass the ball. Look at Winston Moss takes a beeline from the outside to go and get him. And here Nolan Harrison brings down Everett on a good inside move.
Jim says no more of that. So the Saints defense got to pick up the slack Hostetler hit by Ronaldo Turnbull, a Pro Bowler a year ago. Tyrone Hughes picks it up. We've seen him go in the end zone before this year. 42 yards, touchdown. It's a 10-7 game now. The Saints within 3.
Yeah, you're going to see here Harvey Williams come wide open over the middle of the football field, but Jeff Hostetler has no way to get the ball to him under way too much pressure.
Then Haas looking for his favorite receiver, Tim Brown. What a leaping catch for 43 yards. 4 plays later, Haas to the rocket. All of a sudden becoming a part of this offense. 17 yards, beats Jimmy Spencer. 17-7, the silver and black. 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This time, it's Hostetler looking for Tim Brown. He'll fire at good protection. And 30 yards looking to make the move on Carl Lee. He and the ref go flying over the cone. It's a touchdown. Haas, 308 yards passing, 22 of 28. Threw 3 of them, 2 to Timmy Brown. 24-13, 3:40 to go in the game. Why are the Raiders throwing? Haas is picked off by Winfred Tubbs, the rookie's first career interception. And so the Saints have second life. Turned small from Jim Everett. They missed a 2-point conversion, but the Saints now pulled it within 5, 24-19. The Raiders go 3 and out after the Saints don't recover an onside kick. It's one last chance, but Nolan Harrison with the sack. Harrison, Raiders, over 500. They're looking at a Monday nighter at San Diego a couple of weeks down the pike. The Raiders beat the Saints 24-19. We'll be back. And at the top of the hour, Jerry Rice and the Niners at home against the Rams. Sunday Night Football with Mike, Joe, Mark, and the band of Bernard. We'll be back. And now the vaunted primetime game balls. Monday night, 6 days ago, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed airing it out. Sunday, Rich Stadium against the Pack. Jim Kelly, Andre Reed airing it out. To the tune of 15 catches for Reed for 191 yards. Kelly threw for 365 yards. Big reason why the Bills are still in the hunt. Chris?
How about I give it to the Bears' offensive line, creating holes for Lewis Tillman, over 120 yards rushing and a touchdown. They controlled the clock for more than 44 minutes and kept the ball away from Barry Sanders in the Bears' win. So the game ball goes to the Bears linemen, Jerry Fontenot, James Williams, to name a few of the Bears linemen towing the line. Tom?
Yeah, Patriots outside linebacker Chris Slade had a career day against the Chargers today. Here you see him blow by the offensive line, get the sack on Stan Humphries, 1 of 3.5 sacks on the day. Kind of refortified that undersized defensive front that everybody talks about. We'll be back.
Wow, we enjoyed our visit with Mr. Myers here on NFL Primetime. This interesting scoreboard, AFC 5, NFC nothing.
It's just the last Sunday.
Hey, that's a technicality. For Tom Jackson and Chris Myers, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime. But, of course, we are not done. Sunday Night Football with the team in the driver's seat for home field advantage in the playoffs of the NFC. The 8-2 San Francisco 49ers at home against their arch rival Los Angeles Rams. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Mark Malone on the call. Enjoy Sunday Night Football, everybody. Let's kick it to Michael in the stick.
Thank you, Chris, and we are at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, where for the 117th straight game, we'll have a sellout crowd. Tonight, arch rivals, the Rams and the 49ers. It's the city known for its Golden Gate, its golden voice, and its golden team. Tonight, San Francisco and the 49ers are stepping out.
I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. It's for sure, not for maybe, that I'm all dressed up tonight. I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. Ask me when will the day be? The big day may be tonight. What a night!
49ers one step closer to their 11th division title in the last 14 years. For the Rams, a win would match last season's total and keep their slim wild card hopes alive. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. It's great to have you with us. The Rams come in tonight without quarterback Chris Chandler, who had started the last two. He has a badly sprained ankle, so Chris Miller will get to start. Realistically, their chances of an upset tonight, they have to be very physical and mistake-free, and those are hallmarks of Chuck Knox football.
Well, Mike, you know, besides that, there are also another hallmark, and that is running the football. Tonight, that means Jerome Bettis. Here's a guy that's 5'11", 243 pounds. He's a power fullback with the shiftiness and speed of a tailback. Gary Plummer has compared him to Marion Butts, but with great cunning ability. Ken Norton Jr., on the other hand, says his feet remind him of Emmitt Smith. What a great comparison. Sure. I think the big thing tonight, though, is Jerome Bettis has got to carry the ball for at least 20, 25 times, must get 100 yards. That way you can assure that that San Francisco offense is sitting on the sidelines.
And that would be their best shot because they're the hottest team in football. They've won their last 5, including last week's huge win over Dallas. They've been even hotter in this series. They've beaten the Rams 8 straight times. Maybe the only thing they have to worry about tonight, a letdown after burning all that emotion last week.
I don't think so. I'll give you a couple of reasons why. First of all, this team knows that they cannot lose to the Rams tonight because what will happen, it'll undo the great game that they had against the Cowboys. It'll be for nothing. Secondly, Steve Young and Jerry Rice have had fantastic games against the Rams. Here's a couple of numbers for you in the last 2 games. Steve Young has thrown for 800 yards, thrown 6 touchdown passes, and rushed for 2. Jerry Rice has caught 19 passes, caught over 300 yards of reception, and 3 touchdowns. I'll tell you something else, too, about this game tonight, Mike. If you want to go to the refrigerator and you want to get yourself something to eat, I wouldn't do it when the 49er offense is on the field.
Of course, to keep them on the field, they've got to keep Jerome Bettis off the field, and Mark Malone has more on that. Mark?
Well, thanks, Mike. There is no doubt Jerome Bettis will attract 49er defenders in record numbers tonight, but there is a man who'll step center stage into our Sunday night spotlight. All-Pro linebacker Ken Norton is one of the biggest reasons why they have a new and improved run defense here in San Francisco. He got off to a rough start early on, but some defensive adjustments have allowed him to be the most protected linebacker on the squad. He's playing with renewed confidence. Our spotlight camera will follow him every step of the way, and I'll bring you some video updates on the adjustments and what kind of effect Ken Norton is having on Jerome Bettis and the LA Rams offense. Mike?
All right, Mark, thanks very much. George Seifert has a Super Bowl win and 4 division titles in 5 years, and now has the best winning percentage of all time, passing Vince Lombardi. Chuck Knox has yet to enjoy the kind of success in his second tour with the Rams as he did in his first, but his history says, given the time, he always wins. Teams have met before, of course, down in Anaheim in September, and it was all 49ers, 34-19. It was their 8th straight victory in this series. 49ers have won the toss. They will receive, and that's Tony Zendejas teeing it up. Dexter Carter, the primary return man, 6th in the conference, averaging nearly 25 yards a return. He's back there with Derek LaVille. LaVille number 20, Carter 35, and we are set to go from the stick. Carter comes up and takes it at the 12. Runs into his own blocker and is down at the 28-yard line. Take a look at the 49er offense. Steve Young's quarterback rating the highest in the league, 103. It's been over 100 the last 3 years, the first time that's ever happened. In 2 years, Jerry Rice may own every significant receiving record in the history of this game. He's working on 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. And Bart Oates is the only lineman to start every game. This group, riddled by injuries, is finally starting to get healthy. Waters picks up about 3, brought down at the 31, and a late flag on the play.
That's going to be for a face mask, Mike. It looks like the 49ers want to come out and sort of take a look and see what the Rams are doing. They know they like to change up a lot from the previous games where the 49ers have looked at some film, so they're not going to give them the same look.
face mask, number 56 on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
Shane Conlon, the middle linebacker. Let's take a look at the Rams defense. Robert Young, little known, underrated, has better numbers than his more famous teammates. 6.5 sacks, 10th in the conference. We've already seen Conlon. He's given the Rams an excellent run stopper with 68 tackles. He is #1 on the club. We'll look at the secondary after this. Floyd was the man in motion. The throw to Rice, and Rice banged down at the 49-yard line by strong safety Marquez Pope. Gain of 12.
You know, that little move right there is not typical Jerry Rice. The catch is typical Jerry Rice, but the animation at the end is not. This is just the quick post, coming out hard. He comes off the ball on Todd Light, pushes it inside, makes the reception, takes the hit from Marquez Pope, and then jumps up and gives the first down signal.
Spotted at the 49-yard line. Young straight back with time, and incomplete, intended for Taylor. A flag down as he went up with Henley. Taylor came down very hard and slow to get up, and Henley is pleading his case. And it will go against Henley.
Well, that's certainly not what the Rams wanted. They've had 2 penalties that have
Pass interference, number 20 on the defense. First down.
Darrell Henley against John Taylor. He's in bump and run. He hits him at the line. Now he's moving along. Absolutely horrible call. To me, that was nothing more than incidental contact. Should not have been pass interference.
I agree with you. Here's Waters. Waters will get a couple. Let's take a look at the rest of the Rams defense with the secondary. The trade for Marquez Pope brought toughness and big plays to that group. He leads them with a career-high 3 interceptions this year. And with Light and Henley at the corners, they can cover man-to-man. 49ers on the opening possession of the ball game. 2nd and 6 from the 32. Floyd and Waters, the split backs. Young with a kick out to Taylor, and Henley takes him out of bounds at the 23-yard line. It will be another first down.
Like the Rams wanted to come out tonight, they realized that the 49ers script their first 20 or 21 plays. They wanted to give them different looks, and I think what George Dreyer wants to do is change things up, make the 49ers stop and think a little bit, make them make adjustments and take them out of their rhythm.
Sean Gilbert, the 3rd-year pro out of Pittsburgh. Outstanding defensive lineman, and the Rams have really improved themselves on defense this year. Young to throw against the blitz. Rice to the 10. And they are operating on all cylinders.
They just have so many weapons. Here's a shot from our goalpost cam. Watch the right part of your screen. Jerry Rice is going to come in. Conlon drops into the middle. And there's the void created when the linebacker moves. Now, Steve Young releases the football in an interesting way. See how a lot of people, he comes across his body. Now, that's a little bit unusual because a lot of quarterbacks will bring the ball down, not across their body.
Another first down. Waters behind Floyd. Ouch. Stokes stood him up, got some help. Kelly was in there. Roman Pfeiffer, who they described as their best defensive player this year, got the first hit. Named after Roman Gabriel. Inside the 20-yard line, nobody better than the San Francisco 49ers. And you can imagine with those weapons, with the wide receivers, Brent Jones and Waters, who do you try to stop? 77%. Face a second down from the 9 here. Young with a roll in the flat to Rice. Can't avoid going out of bounds and does so at the 7.
One of the problems that the 49er offense presents, Mike, is they go to so many different people. We've seen them go to Rice on quick post. We've seen them go to Taylor on the other side of the field. The one guy they've not gone to in the last couple games very much down here is Brent Jones, because he's been assigned to help out with the offensive line as it was depleted. So I would look for him to get back into the offense here.
And even with those extra duties, Jones has a career-high 6 touchdown catches. 3rd down, the Rams would love to hold them to a field goal. Young to throw, quick, touchdown, Taylor. There are times when this offense looks simply unstoppable.
There are times when it is. John Taylor's just going to run the quick post. They're working on Todd Light. Left part of your screen. Young sets his feet, gets the ball out. Taylor does a terrific job of shielding Henley from the ball. See how he gets his body in between the ball and Henley? That's the key to a great receiver.
All Steve Young did on the drive, 5 out of 5 for 43 yards. Rice caught 3, Taylor caught 2, including the touchdown, and Wilmsmeyer adds the extra point. It took the 49ers 3 minutes and 55 seconds to score on the opening drive.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas. By Panasonic Smooth Operator Wet Dry Razors, smoother than you'd ever thought you'd be. And by American Honda, who has been making quality automobiles in America for the past 12 years.
7-0 49ers as they score on a long march after the opening kickoff and have the lead over the Rams. And Steve Young, brilliant on the opening drive as he was a week ago. And finally getting the respect here in San Francisco that he has around the rest of the country. Kinchin at the 19 on a very short kick. Follows the wedge to the 38-yard line. Take a look at the Rams offense. Because of injuries, Chris Miller hasn't been able to settle into the offense, but when he's been healthy throughout his career, he's been one of the best. Jerome Bettis is the rushing game. 827 yards. The 9 other players who have carried the ball, a combined 176. Injuries and personnel decisions have created a very inexperienced offensive line. Tom Newberry, the only man with more than 12 career starts. Excellent field position for Los Angeles. Miller sacked from behind. Bryant Young, the rookie.
That was just a simple case of Miller holding onto the ball a little too long.
And Chris Miller is hurt.
Push is going to go up the middle. Young just beats his man at the line of scrimmage. That was Daryl Ashmore and winds up right in Miller's lap. Boy, that's the last thing the Rams need. They do not need to lose another one of their starting quarterbacks.
Miller already came in with a nerve injury in his shoulder as Tommy Maddox is warming up, and he's still suffering the effects of a concussion earlier in the season. We already told you Chandler is out with a sprained ankle. He tried to work out before the game, but just couldn't go on that bad ankle. Has pretty good numbers this year, too. And just a couple of days ago, they signed Jamie Martin, a first-year player out of Weber State, to act as their 3rd quarterback.
All of a sudden now he's their 2nd.
And Miller very gingerly coming off the field. When he's been healthy, he's been a terrific quarterback, but has had health problems throughout his career.
And the interesting thing, too, Mike, is when he came here, they had concerns about his knees, because that's really why he wanted to come here, because it was go to Los Angeles, it was a grass field. Then all of a sudden, he's had shoulder problems, concussion problems, not knee problems.
This is the 6th time this year the Rams have had to replace a starting quarterback because of injury. 6 times in 11 games. Pretty tough to keep consistency that way. And Maddox, the former Bronco who came out of UCLA early, is on. Shovel to Lang. Lang makes nice moves and gets it back up to the 40-yard line. Lang is in there for the injured Johnny Bailey. Take a look at the 49er defense. Dana Stubblefield, building on last year's rookie performance. His 7 sacks, 5 in the last 5 games, is number 7 in the conference. Ken Norton Jr. was acquired from Dallas to help stop the run, and he has second on the team in tackles with 52. Merton Hanks coming off a career game against the Cowboys, tied for the NFC lead with 5 interceptions. 3rd and 8 for the Rams. Maddox with time. Complete over the middle. Kinchin in San Francisco territory, shaking tacklers to the 20. Todd Kinchin, a gain of 40. Pretty good throw from Maddox.
It really was. Nice job by Kinchin getting inside also. Maddox hung in the pocket really well. He sits in there, really comes back late. You see the move inside on Hanks. Now he does an excellent job of picking up a few more yards. Misses McDonald. Finally, Toy Cook gets him down.
Griffith checks in, and Jerome Bettis hasn't carried the ball yet. Maddox throws low. And the officials staring at each other. It appears to be complete to Troy Drayton, the tight end.
Mike, you brought up a really good point. Bettis has not touched the football. Interesting strategy by the Los Angeles Rams. Everybody knows that Jerome Bettis, in perception, is the offense of the Rams.
Absolutely.
So what they want to do is come out and spread the ball around. For example, on this play, they're going to go to the right part of your screen to the tight end, which acts as a 6-yard run. It is a catch. Good catch.
Now into the eye, and Bettis is the deep man. And Big Jerome gets his first carry. Gets a couple. Bettis was funny last night. He said the first quarter is the pounding period. And it was such an entertaining and yet an evil smile when he said it. He just goes out and beats them up.
He looks for somebody to hit. He does not look for people early in the game to avoid. He wants to see somebody with a 30 or 40 number. And he gets this little look in his eye like, you're mine.
He doesn't mind hitting the guys with the 70s or 80s either. 3rd and 3 as the Rams try to answer the 49ers opening drive. And Maddox is going to burn a timeout. The play clock was about to run out on him. We've got a timeout on the field. 7-0 Niners. We are still waiting on an injury report on Chris Miller. Went out with a bad ankle, but Tommy Maddox has come off the bench cold and hit all 3 of his passes for 43 yards and has his club down at the 14-yard line. Of course, Maddox was with the Broncos. In the age of the salary cap, they wanted him to take a pay cut. He didn't want to do it, so they traded him to the Rams for a 4th-round pick in 1995, and right now the Rams are finding out if it was worth it. Four-man rush. Maddox for the end zone. Nearly picked off. McDonald got a hand on it. So did Davis. And the first incompletion by either quarterback here in the first period.
Tom Maddox got away with one here. What I mean by that is he got lucky this wasn't picked off. Remember, he didn't work much in practice. He couldn't have. He's looking all the way. He sees the corner route. Now this ball's flat a little. Davis goes up to make a play on it. But I'll tell you, Isaac Bruce does a nice job just to get his hands in there to knock the ball away from Davis and McDonald.
Zendejas comes on for a 31-yard field goal. And knocks it through. So the Rams answer the touchdown with a 31-yard field goal. They get on the board with 7:40 to go first quarter. Back in a moment. The most famous site in San Francisco, one of the most famous in the world, the Golden Gate Bridge. So many things that catch your eye in this beautiful city. And Tommy Maddox talking with the folks upstairs after leading that drive. And Joe, you made a good point about he couldn't have gotten much work. The second quarterback rarely gets any, let alone the third. Across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Adam Walker, one of the up men, takes it. Take a look at the drive as Maddox came in off the bench with Miller hurt.
Big play on third down to Todd Kinchin. Tommy Maddox hangs in the pocket really nice. He wants to go out to the right, comes back to Kinchin, crossing left to right. And now he does an excellent job of picking up additional yards after he makes Burton Hanks miss.
So the 49ers back in business at their own 33. Waters and Floyd are the backs. Pump fake by Young, escapes. Doesn't escape the second hit, brought down by Henley at the line of scrimmage. But he avoided the sack.
What a terrific job by both the front to put pressure on Young, but then the secondary. When Steve Young escapes, he and Randall Cunningham are the two most dangerous guys, I think, when they run. Young certainly can tuck and go. Nice job by Henley. Steps into the pocket. Good push up front. I got him. No, I don't. Now he's still looking down the field. But Darrell Henley doesn't take the bite. Hits him where he gets him down in the thigh.
And Robert Young just knew he had his 7.5 sack. To the ground game with Floyd, the rookie out of Florida State, who carried very rarely in college, but his talents were not missed by the scouts, and Shane Conlon makes the tackle.
You know, Mike, part of that drive in the first drive they had here in the first quarter, they finally have their offensive line back intact. Sapolo's back in there, Steve Wallace, Harris Barton. Of course, Brent Jones has had to do double duty more as a blocker than a pass receiver.
Now, the only guy they're missing is Ralph Tam, and now they go to 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 6. Young with a quick pass to Rice. Jerry trying to get more yards after the catch, is up to the 48 for a first down. Todd Light was there along with Henley.
You know what you do, Mike? You can't stop this. I think you have to realize it. When Steve Young gets the ball out this quick and Jerry Rice has a clean release, does a nice job getting inside a Light. Now what you have to do is you can't let him break away. That's where he's so dangerous. Oddly enough, it was a good completion, but it was a good defensive play because Rice couldn't get any additional yards.
Ted Popson, number 85, checks in as a second tight end along with Young as they go with 2 wide receivers and a single setback. That's Waters. Pump fake. Waters out of the backfield to the Ram 44. Shane Conlon made the tackle. We understand Miller has a contusion on his knee and will return. The next series, they say he'll be back in there.
I'll tell you, though, if something does happen to him, Tommy Maddox will have already had the adrenaline level jacked up twice as much, and he'll be ready to go.
Right now, the concern for the Rams is defense. They have shown no signs of stopping San Francisco in 2 consecutive possessions. Waters. Rams have done a pretty good job stopping the run this year. They're 9th in the league, less than 100 yards. Joe Kelly, picked up as a free agent from the Raiders, was in on that stop. Chuck Knox knows he's pretty close with this ball club.
Robert Young does an excellent job. What he's going to do, he's going to stand up Barton right here and get him. All he has to do is have the stalemate. That's exactly what we want. Now here comes the help from our friends. That's exactly what you're looking for.
They'll measure for the first down, and it is. First down, San Francisco, near the Rams 42.
Tell you, if defensive linemen can get a stalemate on a double team, that means that they've done their job.
And they've got some size on that defensive line, too. Averaging about 280 pounds. Young goes left, Taylor right, split the backs. Rice on a comebacker and can't hold it. One of the few times you will see Jerry Rice get his hands on the ball and not hold it.
You know, like one of the keys to at least containing this San Francisco offense is to try and make sure that if the guys do catch the football, that you're going to tackle them and don't allow additional yards. Here it is, yards after the catch. Denver has, San Francisco has 140. They're the game average leaders. Denver's up there, Kansas City, Green Bay, and Cleveland. 3 of the 5 in the top 5 are this West Coast offense.
And these are perfect skill guys to get yards after the catch, too. Young under some pressure. The Waters in the flat. Nice move to get loose. Ricky Waters forced out of bounds. It looks like about a half-yard shy of a first down. Anthony Newman finally got him.
Robert Young, number 76, goes inside and around Harris Barton. Now he tries to run him off. Terrific job by Steve Young releasing the ball. Knows exactly where his receivers are. Good catch and concentration by Ricky Waters. And there's 9 yards, 10 yards after the catch.
Third down and less than a yard for the 49ers. Go with 3 wides and spread the field, leave Waters behind Young. And Young in a quarterback keeper. Once you spread out the defensive line, it leaves gaps, and he just went for one of them.
You know, everybody says, why do you do that with the Steve Young? Like last week against the Dallas Cowboys, why would you design balls for him to run with the football? Because he can. That's why you do it. He has the ability to do it. He's just going to get up. He's just going to get right in this gap right here, and there's going to be a wedge, and he's going to get the first down. That's all there is to it. He just finds the hole. See, he sees a gap. He just says, I'm going to follow the guards and go.
He was safer running last week than he was dropping back in the pocket. Floyd caught up by Gilbert a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and Big Sean doesn't let him go anywhere. Gilbert says the front four for this team simply has to get it done. And against the 49ers, you have to try to upset the rhythm of that offense.
He realizes this San Francisco offensive line does a great job of trying to cut and get down low. There he is. He just goes around the movement of Jesse Sapolo, the left guard, and makes the play.
2nd and 10, no gain. Young with a quick release to Rice. Had him on a linebacker. Roman Pfeiffer had to make the tackle.
Mike, we talk about different plays in a game, different opportunities in a game that come up. This is an opportunity for the Los Angeles Rams defense to stop San Francisco's offense right here. This is a big, big play in this game for them. It's 3rd down and 3. What they do here depends on whether the 49ers get close and get a chance for a touchdown or force them to at least try a field. This is a big play right here.
I think you're absolutely right. Even though there's only 1:51 to go for first quarter, if you fall too far behind these guys, you're in a lot of trouble. There's a timeout. 7-3 San Francisco. Back in a moment. '49ers 7-3 over the Rams. We talked at the beginning of the broadcast. The only threat to the 49ers tonight may be a letdown after all that emotion. Certainly haven't seen any signs of it, and they're being very professional about it.
They are. They're very businesslike in their approach to it, Mike. They want to try and get on top of the Rams early, make them play catch-up. That's why this is such a crucial play right here.
3rd and 3. Waters crossed him up with a run, and Ricky Waters inside the 10 to the 7. Nice play call after the timeout.
Where do you start to defense this offense? I mean, George Seifert has the luxury of standing there watching and orchestrating it, but where do you start to defend? You got Rice on one side, Taylor on the other. Good double team. At times, Sean Gilbert doesn't get any penetration or the stalemate. Now, what makes Jerry Rice so good? Todd Light said he's an entire football player, and that means blocking when you're not in the play. There he is working down the field to help his teammates.
And Taylor does the same thing on the other side. 1st and goal. Young. Drop! Wide open Brent Jones, and he couldn't hold it. The only 2 completions Young has had tonight have been perfectly thrown balls. You know, you get down inside the red area and you set certain plays up.
This is a bootleg, naked boot. Brent Jones out in the flat, just turned his head before he tucked it away.
Watch Pfeiffer come on the right side. Normally, he's the cover guy.
This one's coming right into your living room. There it is. Right in my hands, up, gone.
2nd and goal from the 7. Young, a little roll again. Rice, touchdown.
The same side, just a different person.
134 career touchdowns for Jerry Rice, chasing Don Maynard's, or he's chasing Don Maynard's record in another category. He, of course, holds that record all by his lonesome. 134 in 10 years.
If Jerry kept all the balls that he scored touchdowns with, he'd have a whole room full of them. I just saw him walk up with another one.
Wilmsmeyer. Excuse me, Doug Bryant for the point after, and he knocks it through.
Steve Young, of course, a left-handed quarterback, so his strength is going to be sprinting to the left. Before they ran the bootleg with a little misdirection. Here they just come out. Now you've got a linebacker basically trying to cover Jerry Rice, and I'd have to say that Roman Pfeiffer got himself caught in a mismatch. Young gets it off before anybody can get any penetration. Jerry knows where the stick is. Emotion from the San Francisco 49ers. There's something rare and unusual, but not this year.
14-3 49ers. Pfeiffer twice in the first quarter has been caught on Jerry Rice.
The Rams answered the last score with a field goal of their own.
They are going to need more than field goals before this one's over.
Right. You got to put some balls in the end zone.
Kitchen and Lang deep to receive Bryan's kick. Lang from the 10. Has blocking up the middle. And Lang takes it out to the 37-yard line. Every Sunday, NFL Game Day comes your way. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Chris Mortensen, Joe Theismann, Phil Simms, and a cast of thousands provide the best pregame show in the NFL. Then at 7 o'clock, back with prime time, all the highlights of all the games. Then at 8 o'clock, Joe and I will be at the Hoosier Dome next Sunday as the Colts host the Patriots, both of whom had huge wins today. We'll get a look at two of the NFL's rising stars, Marshall Faulk and Drew Bledsoe. Miller is back in the quarterback after having his ankle tended to. Dumps it off to Bettis. Bettis across midfield to the 49.
Jerome Bettis has 18 pass receptions coming into this game. He does have exceptional hands. Sure, he's their workhorse as a running back, but he has the versatility to be able to do something with the football as a pass receiver.
And he loves being in an open field looking for those little defensive backs. Bettis straight up the middle, and Ken Norton Jr. right there with a perfect tackle. Completed the first quarter here at the Stick. 14-0 49ers. 14-3 49ers. Ken Norton Jr. in our Sunday night spotlight. For more on that, here's Mark Malone.
Well, thanks, Mike. Norton hasn't been much of a factor because the Rams are throwing the football, but he has been a factor against the pass. As we take a look at some of the video on the first drive, Chandler has to hold the football. Hey, this is a coverage sack, and I'll tell you exactly why. Ken Norton, as we look right here, jumps all over Drayton, the tight end, and forces Miller to hold on to the football. In the shovel pass, he tries to outrun the block by Newberry and misses the tackle on Lang, but so far having an impact in this football game, Mike.
All right, thank you, Mark. First quarter, the Rams have passed the ball 6 times and run it twice. Bettis diving to the 44. Let's go back to Mark.
Yeah, Mike, you were talking about those numbers. So far, the Rams have run a total of 8 plays. They've only run the ball twice. Norton has 2 tackles, and he has a missed tackle. So he is having some impact, even though they're not running the football as much as we thought they would early on. Mike?
Well, Mark, if Bill Parcells can imitate Eric Coryell, why not Chuck Knox?
Chuck said he's going to do whatever it takes to move the ball. Come out with a little bit of a different game plan than everybody expected.
3rd and 4. Miller goes to the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Miller unloads to Lang, and he dropped it. Had the first down. He was wide open. There's a flag down on the play.
This is going to be roughing the quarterback. Ken Norton Jr. had a shot at Miller. I'm almost positive he gives him a whack in the head, and that's going to get you 15.
Here's Red Cashin.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 51 on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Lang gets out of there. Norton comes free. Miller does a good job of getting rid of the football. But, see, there's a little touch in it. I really think that is wrong. I think that should not be a penalty. I think if you flagrantly hit a guy in the head, it should be a penalty. I do not believe touching a quarterback's helmet should be a penalty.
Well,
I don't agree with the rule.
I can sympathize with it, but that's what the rule is, and they have to call it.
I don't agree with it.
Bettis and Griffith to the backs after the first down. Play action by Miller. Intended for the rookie Isaac Bruce, but overthrown in the end zone, covered by Eric Davis. First quarter numbers. Rams with only 2 first downs to 49ers with 10 and over 100 total yards in offense. But look at the rushing yards.
I think
2 for Bettis.
I think that is a telltale sign of what the Rams have tried to do. They've tried to change their game plan up a little bit, figuring the 49ers would expect them to run.
Well, you know they come out with an 8-man front looking for Bettis. 2nd and 10. Miller chased out of the pocket, throws on the run, has Bruce inside the 20 to the 18. That's close, another first down. Norton on the coverage, and they love Isaac Bruce. All the coaches say he is going to be a big-time player.
His college coach had something interesting to say about him. All he said is he makes the game simple. He gets open and he catches the football.
They could have had Trent Dilfer in the draft, but the Rams traded down twice. And when it came their turn to pick, Isaac Bruce out of Memphis State was right there. It is another first down, spotted at the 18-yard line. Miller into a crowd. Bruce makes the catch at the 10. McDonald had visions of a pick and couldn't quite get there as he and Eric Davis combined on the tackle.
That's interesting. It makes you wonder which side of the field Deion Sanders is on. Deion is on Flipper Anderson. Flipper's their best receiver. Deion takes him away one-on-one. Okay. Now over on the left side, Chris Miller's got double coverage with Davis and McDonald, and he still winds up throwing the football out to that side. That's how much respect Deion Sanders gets from everybody.
2nd and 2. Miller to throw. For the end zone and overthrown. Intended for Jesse Hester.
Now, I got to tell you something. I don't know if I agree 100% with Chick Harris, the offensive coordinator's play selection right there. I think maybe on 2nd and 2, now I pound Jerome, get the first down, give myself 2 or 3 more shots down here, because now you've got to come up with a play for the first down. I think Chick was going for 6 there, which is fine, but I don't know the percentages would have gone that way.
The Rams have thrown the ball 10 out of 13 plays. Face a 3rd and 2 here. Bettis on the draw. Lost his balance, went down at the 10. And Miller is already signaling to the sideline, let's go for it.
I don't think Chuck's going to do it. I think he kicked the field goal here. I think you got a rhythm going. Why deflate the offense from coming away empty? I think a good decision here would be to kick the field goal.
So Zendejas, who's already hit one, comes on to try one from 27. Maddox the holder with Chandler out. And Zendejas caroms one through off the left upright.
That's hard. I give him a lot of credit. That's hard to do, to hit the inside of the left upright and kick it through.
Zendejas and the Rams breathe a sigh of relief as they get the bounce.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Pep Boys. For quality parts, accessories, and service, come to Pep Boys, America's Automotive Supercenter. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. And by Savan, 100% cotton, no wrinkle clothing.
Defenses haven't stopped anybody yet. Clubs marching up and down the field. The Rams with 2 field goals, the 49ers with 2 touchdowns, and that's how we have a 14-6 score. And Zendejas with a short kick, very short to Carter. Carter with a seam. Flag is down. And Carter out of bounds at the 42.
That push in the back is going to be against Dana Hall, number 28.
Holding during the run back. Number 27 of the receivers. 10 yards, first down and 10.
27 is Adam Walker. There's Hall, 28.
Yeah, he was in the mix too.
Play selection for Air Knox. 4 runs, 10 passes.
I think it would be, except against a team like the 49ers, you have to change up. You can't come in doing what you normally do.
Waters trying to get outside. Strung out nicely by Joe Kelly, who makes the tackle, and now pushing and shoving after the play.
Joe Kelly definitely is a guy who likes to mix it up. I think it's important his teammates get him away from Ricky Waters, because Ricky has a short fuse as well.
Yep.
See, this is what bothers me sometimes. Guys make a great play. Like Joe Kelly makes a great play. You go out, take a swing, say something. You get an unsportsmanlike penalty against you. You defeat the purpose of a great play.
2nd and 10 for the 49ers. Young straight back with time. Short over the middle right. Again, covered by a linebacker. That was Shane Conley. You cannot. I mean, most defensive backs in this league cannot cover Jerry Rice, and they've got linebackers on.
Yeah, but the problem is, Mike, is you can't go one-on-one. So really what he's doing is he's being chased by a linebacker in the zone. But the big thing that sets this up is Steve Young has got passing lanes. The offensive line does an excellent job of creating a lane. See that lane to the left he has? Right out to the left is a lane that he's able to throw through. That's very important that a quarterback has a clear vision.
First down from the 37. Rice with another short set to Taylor. Taylor up to the 48-yard line. Should be another first down. Roman Pfeiffer, the linebacker, got a hand on it.
They have just so much confidence in the quick post to both the wide receivers. That one was not a perfectly thrown ball. It hit the back number instead of the front number. Hit the 4 instead of the 8. Or the 2 instead of the 8.
Steve Young has been absolutely superb. The 2 incompletions were flat-out drops. He could easily be 14 for 14 here in the first half. Waters barely got the handoff, losing ground, and now will go down all the way back inside the 40-yard line. Robert Young simply wouldn't let him outside. This guy was having a great year last year before a knee injury. 7 sacks in the first 4 games.
Robert Young does an excellent job right here, firing up the field. What he's going to do, and as the sweep goes this way, he doesn't allow it anywhere to go. Comes up the field, good penetration. Takes out the guards, disrupts the entire blocking scheme. Forces Ricky to the ground, winds up with a big loss.
2nd and 18. Ed McCaffrey checks in as another wide receiver. He's number 81, the former Giant. 4-man rush. Young wants to screen. Now throws out in the flat. Nobody there but the Los Angeles Rams' Wyman Henderson. Did a great job of defensing the screen.
And what he did is he did a great job of getting rid of the football. Don't take a big sack. Know where you are on the field. Get rid of the football.
And got away with not having a flag thrown on it, too. 3rd and 18.
I would also, again, now on 3rd and long, I would not look for Steve Young to hold the ball long. Look for him to get it off quick and allow his receivers to run with it.
Rams come with a 3-man front. Young steps up, Rice. And he may have the first down. He does. There's a flag down on the play, and it will come back. That would have been the 7th catch of the game for Jerry Rice here in the first half.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Number 74 on the offense. 10 yards. Thanks, Ref. I'll take you last time.
Number 74, Steve Wallace is the left tackle. Rush comes from outside. There it is, the hands up in the face. Can't do that on Gerald Robinson.
Now it's 3rd and 28, and Wallace, because of the concussions, wearing that extra crown on the helmet. Concussions have been a huge problem in the league this year. Young forced out of the pocket. And got out of bounds.
Nice job by the secondary of the Los Angeles Rams. Steve Young had absolutely nowhere to go with the football. Wound up having to eat it.
And this will bring up the first punt of the ball game with 8:37 to go first half.
You know, it's interesting, Mike, when we talked to Steve Young on Friday, he said the worst thing that can happen is for me to wind up with the football, whether it be running around or taking a sack, and there was a case of it.
Todd Kinchin is back. Johnny Bailey out with an abdominal strain, so Kinchin will return punts and kickoffs. Wilmsmeyer gets the high snap and gets it away. Not a real good kick, but gets the bounce. And Kinchin is stuffed at the 31-yard line. Ted pops in the backup tight end downfield to make the tackle. Punt of 39, return of 3. Welcome back to San Francisco, where the 49ers are leading the Rams 14-6. Run defense was more than a minor concern for the Niners last year. They allowed 113 rushing yards a game and an NFL worst 4.5 yards a carry. This year, however, a major improvement, allowing only 92 yards a game on the ground and 3.5 yards a carry. The reason? The run stoppers. New Niners, Ken Norton Jr., Gary Plummer, Lee Woodall, Ricky Jackson, and Bryant Young. They haven't had much action tonight. The Rams have been throwing the football. Bettis, the deep man in the eye, gets a carry, and they're waiting for him. Bettis will pick up a couple.
We talked to Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, and he said in the beginning of the year, they tried to put in a lot of complex coverages and defensive fronts. What they've done in the last 4 or 5 games, because of the new players, is simplify it. Now what they've done is they've got their athletes out there playing athletically instead of thinking. Ray Rhodes on the right of your screen.
Tim Lester, number 34, is in as a blocking back for Bettis. Play action by Miller. Plenty of time. Throws Jesse Hester at midfield. Inside of Eric Davis for the catch, a gain of 17.
That's where a play-action fake to Jerome Bettis helps you so much. It creates the space between the linebackers and the secondary people. They have to respect the run fake, so they suck up a little bit, creating another 5-yard cushion for you to get the ball in.
Clock running, 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go first half. Rams down by 8. They have the ball at midfield, 1st and 10. Bettis picks up nearly 4 to the 49er 46-yard line. Lee Woodall.
You know, it's amazing what they've done on the defensive side of the ball, the 49ers. They lose a Richard Dent, they go get a Charles Mann. They bring in for their linebackers Ken Norton Jr., Lee Woodall's a rookie, and Gary Plummer. So basically, all your linebackers are new. You get Deion Sanders to go to corner. You move Merton Hanks back to safety, which is a more natural position. So really, with Sanders, Hanks, and Davis on the field, you've got 3 corners.
And Ricky Jackson. Charles Mann is in the game right now. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up, and Miller with time. Throwing for Hester and overthrown, covered by Davis. 49ers have certainly made brilliant use of the salary cap to boost that defense this year.
Chris Miller has a lot of confidence in his offensive line. Now, they're patchwork, but look at the job they do with the blitz. Everybody gets on a body so that Miller can stand tough in the pocket. Then he winds up overthrowing the ball a little bit, but at least he has the confidence to stand there and make a throw.
And Bettis did a great job on the blitz pickup. 3rd and 6. Miller under pressure, throws incomplete. Hester being pressured. Toy Cook was over there on Hester, number 41.
That's somebody else I left off.
That's right.
He's a starter for 5 years down in New Orleans. Now he comes here and he winds up playing nickelback.
So the Rams will have to punt it away for the first time, and Sean Landeta, number 1 in the NFL, 44-9. Dexter Carter waits at the 10. Signals for the fair catch and makes it. A punt of 39, no return. Still 14-6 San Francisco. 14-6 49ers over the Rams. 6:05 to go first half. Rice and Young with a huge first half. Young 105 yards passing. Rice has 61 of those yards on 7 catches. Waters cracks up over the 20-yard line. Marquez Pope, the safety, had to make the tackle. Waters now 9 carries, 39 yards.
The San Francisco 49ers offensive line, they don't power people. They position people. They get you out of position, and Ricky Waters, wham, is gone right by.
Waters again. Marquez Pope comes up and drills him. The ball came loose. As Waters went down hard, so did Marquez Pope at the 30.
Wow. A missile. The missile is down.
Todd Light says his addition to this secondary has been a blessing.
Well, when he was in college at Fresno State, he was coached by Rod Perry, the defensive secondary coach of the Rams. You want to see a safety support. Watch the right part of your screen. Right there at the right part of your TV, a collision. Oh, helmet to helmet, hat to hat.
And both of them had to be helped off the field.
When you look at that shot, you look at Marquez's eyes, that's about how they look right now.
That's right.
Like that deer staring at those headlights.
Toby Wright, number 32, the rookie, will check in at the strong safety spot on 2nd and 2. He's out of Nebraska, 2nd-round draft choice. Dexter Carter gets a chance to run, takes it up to the 40, and brought down by Toby Wright. Carter, a 1990 first-round draft choice out of Florida State.
Offensive line just gets bodies on people. They're just going to get a body on a body and create a little seam so that when Carter hits it, he's gone. Everybody on a body. Nobody go to the ground this time. Everybody stays up. Great job by the line. He's through it and gone.
4:17 to go in the half. Carter again. Boy, did they seal off the right side. And Carter rams his way out to the 47. The 49ers wearing those throwback uniforms. They are going for their 8th straight victory in those threads, and they came from 1955. We were interested. Check back in the record book. 1955, they were 4-8. They've been a lot luckier this year than that year.
Well, the 8, they'd switch around at least. Actually, I think it's good. You know, I mean, this is a football team that's trying to create a new identity, so they put on a new look.
Their identity was created last week against the Dallas Cowboys when they showed they could play at that level. Play action by Young. Rice. Conlon makes the tackle in Ram territory at the 46-yard line.
Todd Light told me the way to play Jerry Rice is you can't jump on him. You can't give up the deep one. And in this case, he's not giving up the deep one. He's about 5 yards off. Rice makes the reception, his 8th of the night. Remember, in the 2 previous games coming into tonight, he had 19 catches. I think he's trying to get there in one game.
8 catches, 68 yards, another first down. As the 49ers have reached the Los Angeles 46-yard line, already up 14-6. Again, good protection for Young over the middle. Brent Jones had it, then lost it. Let's see what the rule is. 2 officials say incomplete. 1 says he was down. And the incompletions, I believe, will prevail.
Mac Judge being very definitive, saying no. Head linesman or the field judge coming in saying no. That's a good job of officials working together. Right down the middle. Brent Jones, great hands. Extends himself. But never really has control, I don't think.
That's a good call.
Never quite gets put away.
You have to have both feet down with control for it to be a catch. He never had the control.
Good job by the official.
Got a timeout. 2:30 to go first half. 49ers by 8. 14-6, 49ers late second quarter. Coming up at halftime, the fastest 3 minutes in television with Chris Berman. All the highlights. Then the injury update on Troy Aikman's bad knee. And then we'll be back to Candlestick Park for a first half recap.
The other thing, too, is remember, not only did Aikman go down in that Dallas game, but Rodney Peete went down with a finger or thumb or something.
And they have to play on Thursday. 2nd and 10 for the Niners. Young in the flat. Jones. First down. Gang tackle at the 35.
You know, it's interesting, Mike. George Dreyer, the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams, called Brent Jones the best tight end in the business. Excellent hands. Young's going to go back. Play action fake to hold the linebacker. Slides his feet a little. Brent goes up, catches it, tucks the ball away, and picks up the additional yards.
Will they get off a play before the 2-minute warning? They will not. Brent Jones, arguably having the best season of his career, has already been to 2 Pro Bowls.
That's a 2-minute warning.
Thank you for that explanation, Red.
Steve Young was arguing the clocks at either end of the field are different. We'll check on that when we come back. 14-6. 49ers by 8. Ken Norton in our spotlight. Let's check in with Mark Malone.
Well, one of the reasons, Mike, the Rams might be throwing the football, obviously they're down, but Ken Norton in the run defense of the Niners has been outstanding. Kenny's allowed now to make line calls, putting his players in gaps, allowing him to run to the football. And take a look at this. On a drive earlier, he runs through, makes the tackle and the stop for no gain. A little bit later, the Rams run away from him, and watch this. No hesitation. He scrapes, gets an assist on the play. He's really playing the run much better in this new scheme.
And certainly happy to be a 49er. First down, 49ers at the Rams 35. They already lead 14-6. We're at the 2-minute mark. Young with a short set again. John Taylor to the Ram 27-yard line, where Shane Conlon makes another tackle.
Having Brett Jones in there gives you such flexibility because it's almost like having that other wide receiver on the field.
Young with room to run. And slides in safely under Todd Light. It's almost unfair with all the other weapons that they have that Young can run like a halfback.
It should be two-hand touch. If you touch him two hands, he should be down.
First down, 49ers. Another short set, and Taylor, what a great throw that was. And Henley is hurt.
This is a deeper post. We've seen him run the quicker ones. It'll be on the left side as you go back and see. Young looks down the field. He sees they come up on Jones. Now he throws it. It's low to the post. That's what you want to do as a quarterback. You want to help your receivers out. See how Steve holds the safeties and then just glances out this way? Now the ball comes in low because it's an in pattern. The chances of an interception are diminished, and also the chances of getting receivers killed are diminished. That way, both of you, the quarterback and the receiver, benefit.
Yeah. It has been a tough year and a half for Darrell Henley. He is writhing in pain down on the field, and come January, he will face charges of cocaine trafficking. Missed last year because of the charges, and the Rams had to post a bond to get him back on the field to be able to make the travel squad. Let's go down to Mark Malone. Mark?
Yeah, Mike, just to follow up on the Norton-Bettis matchup, so far the Rams have snapped the ball 20 times. Bettis has carried the ball 6 times for only 15 yards, a little better than 2 yards a carry. Total tackles for Norton, 4, 3 of those solos. Hey, could it be that Chuck Knox has got more respect for Ken Norton and the 49er run defense than he does for Deion Sanders, guys?
Well, I don't know about that, Mark. They haven't thrown that place, but they've gone to the other side an awful lot, haven't they?
Well, I think what they've done is they've tried to do something different than they normally do, and that's run the football. Chuck wanted to come out, and actually they've done a pretty good job offensively. They've moved the ball, except, they've only punted once in the first half. That's not too bad. Defensively, you just have a tough time slowing the 49ers down. We're talking about Ken Norton Jr. Talk to him about the difference between the Cowboy organization and the 49er organization. He said the Cowboy organization, the organization comes first. He said the feeling that he has out here in San Francisco is that the players come first. That's been the big noticeable difference for him.
And I think that's one of the reasons they were able to get so many players to come here for less money than they may have been making somewhere else, because the reputation of Eddie DeBartolo, the way he has run this organization along with Carmen Policy.
Gary Plummer, I think, put it as well as anybody. He said everybody should at least have the opportunity to spend a year in the 49er organization. And it's interesting. He didn't say on the team. He said in the organization.
And Henley dragging that left leg as he comes off. Robert Bailey will check in. Fourth-year man out of Miami to take his spot. There's Bailey, but you can tell Henley is in a lot of pain. Do you see the new guy and go after him?
You not only see him, you know exactly where he is, and you find him. See, a guy who doesn't get a lot of credit. George Seifert's done a terrific job, but Mike Shanahan is the offensive coordinator, and he has done just a fabulous job of spreading the ball around with the different calls. Right now, I go after Bailey.
First and goal from the 7. Waters. got a yard and no more. Jimmy Jones, the ex-Cowboy, plugged the gap. Leads the defensive line in tackles. Tough to run inside with Jones at one tackle, Gilbert at the other. Young to Rice. Touchdown. Every accolade that Jerry Rice gets, he deserves. Not only is he tremendously talented, he's one of the hardest workers you will ever see.
Well, it's interesting. You know, talking to Mike Shanahan, he said he likes to reward the guys that work hard in practice. He said he has plays for each of his players, Waters, Rice, Taylor. And as the guys work hard in practice, when they get down here to pay dirt, he rewards them in his own little way.
Rice, 9 catches, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns here in the first half. Bryan converts, and the 49ers extend their lead to 21-6.
I think one of the toughest things to do is cover Jerry Rice when he's running away from you, and that's what happens. Again, you see a linebacker out, but now he just waits for traffic to clear and goes underneath. Todd Light doesn't stand a chance. He's got to run through a whole lot of his players and his own players. Doesn't matter. Now Steve Young looks down the field. See him survey the field, and then he just finds Jerry through a passing lane and winds up. Now Todd doesn't stand a chance. I mean, you're really asking a defensive back to chase Jerry Rice all the way across the field when he only needs 5 yards to get in the end zone.
And then when you catch him, he's extremely strong. He's 6'2", 200. He can pull away from people. Light said they have to put the heat on early. The heat has been absent.
The pilot light is starting to go out.
Let's go, now, let's go, let's go.
The Rams will get excellent field position at the 49 or 48-yard line as David Lang brought it back. Todd Light has the dubious honor of having to face Rice twice a year. We asked him about his approach.
You got to be physical with him. Every time he touches the ball, you have to punish him. And you have to tackle him because you can't have any missed tackles against Jerry Rice, because if you're responsible for him in one-on-one coverage and you miss a tackle, that could be 6 very easily.
And it has been.
Well, he's made tackles. The problem is he's only been able to catch up to him in the end zone.
The Rams now, with this field position and 32 seconds left, have a chance to get on the board again. Miller wheels out of trouble and will get out of bounds. Miller used to be a very good runner. And he says after 2 terribly injured knees, he says, you're not going to see me making too many athletic runs anymore.
The last one he had in the Georgia Dome, he was actually scrambling and just trying to put a move on. No one hit him, and he blew the knee out. So he said, it's great to be with the Rams on a grass field. That was a major priority. He said also, they paid me a lot of money.
And he was also very happy last night because the Oregon Ducks won the Pac-10. His school. 2nd and 2 with 25 seconds to go in the half. Lang will have the first down inside the 38-yard line. Clock running. And they'll use the timeout to stop it with 13 seconds.
That's poor clock management.
Sure is.
I mean, they lost 8 seconds, easily 8 to 10 seconds, just by deciding what they want to do. The quarterback has got to know, and everybody's got to know, if we complete this pass, I'm going to turn around the referee right now and call a timeout. They lost 8 to 10 seconds. Should be 23 on the clock. That gives you at least another play.
Absolutely.
They really have taken a play away from themselves.
From the spot of the ball here at the 38-yard line, it would be about 55 yards for Zendejas. So to give them a legitimate shot, they need about another 10.
Yeah, but the problem is, Mike, it's got to be a pass towards the sideline.
That's right.
See, if they had 23 seconds to go, they could really get their field goal unit on the field. Now, they've got to put it on the outside portion of the field somehow, and San Francisco will load it up out there.
Either that or go for the end zone. From the shotgun. Movement by Ashmore. He's in there because Goes is injured, and as Joe pointed out earlier, a patchwork offensive line for the Rams.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, right guard, 5 yards, still first down.
No time comes off the clock. They'll need about 15 yards now. There is Goes out of Hawaii, 5-year man.
It's tough when you have to slide your offensive line around. Clarence Jones, their left tackle, is the only guy who started every game, number 72.
Miller surviving. Now he's going to have to get out of bounds, and he does with 5 seconds left. Just got away from Bryant Young.
Bryant Young comes off the ball so quick. Of course, they know they have to pass. Watch him come off the ball. He's just going to absolutely fire off the ball. Watch the quickness this young man has. A little bit of a bull rush. Now you lean and lean and lean. You know Miller's going to be back there. He's not going to run away from anybody. I almost think at that point, if I was Chris, 5 seconds to go, fling it down towards the end zone. Maybe you get lucky.
You're out of options here with 5 seconds left on the clock. Trips right formation. Jump ball. And Dion wanted it. It was tipped over his head. And you know he'd have brought it back out of the end zone. That's the end of the first half. Our score, 49ers 21, Rams 6. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Acura halftime report.
All right, Michael, thank you. The Jerry Rice Show continues from Steve Young. We'll be going back to Candlestick in a moment. What a wild Week 12. Tom Jackson will join me shortly. A rare number posted, AFC 5, NFC nothing, including one in Buffalo, where reports of the Bills' demise are greatly exaggerated. Here we go. Week 12 highlights. Andre Reed, Jim Kelly, certainly on the same page, certainly writing a new book. 7-0 Bills in the first quarter on the second possession. Kelly to Reed, 15 yards. Touchdown to lead the Packers now 17-0 on the fourth drive. Kelly, Reed, I'm in. Now don't bother me. Go down. Bills lead 24-0. Hold on for a 29-20 win. Andre Reed, 15 catches, the fourth best in NFL history. Meanwhile, Dolphins at the Steelers. Brian Cox fired up. Move the chains, he says. We take it up in overtime, 13-all. Mike Tomczak making his first start since week 1 last year. The screen to Barry Bananas Foster gets his just desserts with a rumbling, bumbling, stumbling 30 yards. Tomczak good for 343 yards. Gary Anderson, 39 yards, good in overtime. And the Steelers up their mark to 8-3 as they beat the Dolphins 16-13. Browns at the Chiefs. A hard rain was going to fall, but Arrowhead. Marty Schottenheimer Chiefs has not lost 2 in a row at home under his tenure. Joe Montana to Tracy Green, touchdown. Montana threw for 169 yards, and the Chiefs lead the Cleveland Browns. They lead it 20-13 in the fourth quarter. Mark Rippon is sacked by Derek Thomas. It's Sweet Pete. Well, that's down the road in Arkansas, but Kansas City beats Cleveland 20-13. The Lightning Bolts in their third straight road game at New England. Stan Humphries, Drew Bledsoe. How was Bledsoe's Army? 270 passes last week. Today, Leroy Thompson up the middle, 27 yards to a touchdown. Patriots looking for the upset. Chris Slade sacked Humphries not once, not twice, but 3.5 times. Chris Slade and the Patriots upset the Chargers 23-17. Mama, we're all crazy now. Jets at the bike. Marcus Turner, 7 for the injured Aaron Glenn. You say big deal at corner. Warren Moon's going to torch him. I don't think so. Marcus Turner, not one, not two, but 3 interceptions in this one. He could go all the way. 90 yards. Moon 400 yards, but 4 picks. Esiason, no picks, 3 touchdowns. They beat Minnesota 31-21. Lions at Bears. Oh my. Dave Wannstedt last week had Curtis Conway throw a touchdown pass. What does he have Kevin Butler do this time? Well, the Butler did it. Onside kick. No, it's Chris Gardocki. And John Mangum Force recovers for the Bears, who held onto the ball for over 44 minutes today against the Lions. Steve Walsh, look at him, air it out to Jeff Graham, a cracker. And Walsh is 6-0 as a starter. Chicago 20, Detroit 10. The Bears tied with the Vikings for first in the NFC North. Saints at the Raiders. There's the jury pool. Raiders first possession. Haas to Tim Brown, his favorite receiver. 12 yards, touchdown. The Raiders lead 7-0. Leading 17-7 to the fourth quarter. Haas, Brown, 30 yards. It's the Saints and the refs. Get out of here! Raiders over 500 for the first time all year. They beat the Saints 24-19. Falcons at the Broncos. Wade Phillips' team trying to go to 5-6 after that awful start. 3 minutes left. The Broncos trailing 28-25. Reggie rolling out of Rivers. Mile High Magic. It's a fumble! No, it's a first down. Denver keeps the ball. Elway, quarterback draw. He's come from behind again. Denver beats Atlanta 32-28 in Mile High Stadium. The Colts and the Bengals. Ed Marchibroda looking for the magic man. Don Mikowski out showing a comeback drive. 4-for-400 drive. Finishes to Sean Dawkins. 8 yards. Colts lead 17-13. But Jeff Blake has been magical for the surging Bengals. Can he pull out another Cinderella story? It's a bomb. But looking for Darnay Scott, gets Ray Buchanan and said Colts win 17-13. Bucs and the Seahawks. Tom Flores' team has not won since September. A 6-game losing streak. No time to wallow in the mire, they say. Rick to John Vaughn, touchdown. 15-0 Seahawks. Bucs at lead 21-15 under a minute to go. Vaughn and then Max Strong, touchdown. The Bucs snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, losing 22-21 to Flores and the Seahawks. Eagles at the Cards. The Feathers certainly were going to fly in Tempe. Steve Berline brewing on the sidelines as it was Jay Schrader at the helm. Randall Cunningham and the Eagles down 9-3. And E.S. Williams with the 6th interception of the season, stymieing the Eagles' drive. Then 12-6 Arizona late. Look at Calvin Williams. Try to make the circus catch, but his knee is just out of bounds. He knew it. Buddy ball gets even with Eagles ball. Arizona beats the Eagles this time 12-6. It's the Redskins at the Cowboys. He's got a heck of a nerve. Starting Gus Frerotte in Big D a week after Dallas was beaten by San Francisco. Emmitt Smith, no time in the weight room, right? He doesn't pull anybody into the end zone. 7-0 Cowboys. Then 17-7 in the second quarter. Trey Aikman is hurt. More on that in a moment. Rodney Peete, he got hurt, but before he left, he threw a touchdown to Alvin Harper. Cowboys humble the Redskins 31-7, the first sweep of the Skins since '85.
This halftime report is presented by Acura. Some things are worth the price.
When we return, Troy Aikman hurt. How badly? Tom Jackson will join me. We'll hear from Pam Oliver in Big D. Halftime of our game, Niners lead the Rams 21-6. Stay with us, please. Welcome back at halftime, 21-6, the Niners over the Rams. Tom Jackson with me. The Dallas Cowboys win big against Washington, but at what cost? Victory with a Thanksgiving game around the corner, Tommy. Troy Aikman and Rodney Peete hurt. Let's get the latest from Pam Oliver in Big D. Pam?
Call it the domino effect. The Cowboys lose their main man only to see the backup drop too. A long afternoon of bad injury news, and Jason Garrett is the only Dallas quarterback on the roster who can walk and throw passes at the same time.
We got to find a quarterback. And even if Jason's our starter, we got to have someone to back him up. I mean, we can't go out there with one quarterback. We've got to have a quarterback, and who knows our system.
Suddenly, the boys are in big trouble, facing a short week of work, a stretch of games all key to maintaining home field advantage, and a test unlike any other in recent times, where their offensive depth is being greatly taxed.
We beat up, man. It's ugly. I'm glad we got a good defense. Our defense is staying consistent, and it's going to be hard on us, but you know what? We're going to run the table, baby. We got 5 balls left, and we're going to run the table.
I think if a supporting cast there is one that can play in can win without their top two quarterbacks. The Dallas Cowboys are one of them.
Anybody come to mind who you may call?
No, not right now. We'll be busy over the next few hours.
Jerry Jones will now have to work some serious magic to get the Cowboys out of this pinch. With his quarterbacks dropping like flies, Jones must now search to restore the very heart of his two-time Super Bowl championship team with an immediate hire or two. From Dallas, Pam Oliver, ESPN.
All right, Pam, good job. Tommy, the one game first, Thanksgiving game against the Packers, a tough defense. Jason Garrett to start if that happens. Can they get by that game, Dallas?
Yeah, I think they can because they have great defensive consistency, and those people will be healthy enough to play. They can get on the field a lot easier than the offensive personnel. No doubt Dallas in a bad spot. I think what we're going to see is a sense of urgency from them on Thanksgiving. They know that if they can win that game, they're going to get 11 days off looking at that pivotal battle the next Sunday, or actually 2 Sundays away, against the Eagles.
Well, Garrett started one game last year that Kosar replaced him in, but he's from Princeton. We think the first Ivy starter now since Marty Domrez in the 70s from the Colts. You knew we had to throw that in. We're at halftime, of course, of the Niners and the Rams. Niners lead at 21-6 as we resume second half activity from Candlestick. Steve Young is at Jerry Rice twice, 56 times. They've combined for touchdowns in career. Montana to Rice, 55. Young passed Montana in one category tonight.
This halftime report has been presented by Acura. Some things are worth the price.
Steve Young and Jerry Rice have picked apart the LA Rams defense here in the first half to the tune of 21 points. Rice already with 2 touchdowns. Back with the second half kickoff after this. (21-6) 49ers as we get ready to start the second half. Continuing on the momentum they built a week ago against the Dallas Cowboys.
Coaches in the locker room, Mike, always talk about first series of the game, first series of the second half tells you the kind of tone you're going to set for it. Very critical for the Rams to get something out of this one.
And you can see the light rain falling behind Doug Bryan. More of a mist than anything else. Kinchin from the 14. Horse collared at the 29. Let's check in with Mark Malone. Mark?
Well, thanks, Mike. Just I think it's time now to take a look at Ken Norton in the first half and put a wrap on him. He's been asked to do a lot of things tonight, and he's done them all well. Versus the rush, here he is again. We showed you earlier, shooting the gap, making the shot on Bettis for no gain at all. Very confident in his rush mode. And in coverage, he's done everything. He's played man, he's played zone right there. He puts the hit on, keeps the running back in bounds. He's just done a superb job tonight. We'll come back and wrap him up in just a second, Mike.
All right, Mark, and he is a quality football player that they picked up for free agency. Griffith and Bettis in the backfield for the Rams. Bettis will get the carry. Quick enough to take it outside and strong enough to run over people. Let's go back to Mark.
Yeah, let's wrap up these numbers too, Mike. Total number of plays for Los Angeles, 24. Bettis has carried the ball 6 times for 15 yards, about a little over 2 yards a play. 14 plays in pass coverage Norton has been. When they've rushed the ball, he's made 5 tackles, 4 solos. LA is going to have to throw the football. We're going to switch our spotlight now to Deion Sanders and the effect he'll have on this football game. Mike?
All right, Mark, good choice. Who's virtually taken away Flipper Anderson from this offense. They go the other way to Griffith. And Griffith taken down by McDonald. Halftime numbers for you from the stick. Passing yards for the Rams, 96, only 23 yards rushing, and the time of possession more than double for San Francisco. And 19 first downs to only 6 for the Rams.
I think something there, you look at it, 4 out of 5 on third down conversions for San Francisco. They've not had many.
3rd and 3 as Miller goes to the shotgun. 49ers may have jumped. Miller throws complete. They've got the first down. Jesse Hester out of bounds at the 48-yard line. No flag on the play. And Mark Thomas got back after he jumped early.
Chris Miller came out in the game. They did not feature Jerome Bettis like we thought. They decided to take another route, and what they did is they wound up throwing the ball. As you can see, out to the left, 4 out of 5. Deion Sanders has been over here, and that's part of the problem. He's gone away from Deion.
Bettis hit in the backfield and dumped Gary Plummer. Nearly 100 tackles a year for his career in San Francisco, or with San Diego before he came here. Got him primarily as a run stop.
Gary Plummer, number 50. All he's going to do is fire the gap. You try and run this way, he's waiting for you. He just shoots it. He beats the trapping guard. That's all it was. Made up his mind to go, and he went.
Bettis now 8 carries, 15 yards, less than 2 a pop. Been a marked man. Miller throws sideline complete. About 2 yards shy of the first down. Flipper Anderson makes the catch. That's his first of the night.
I think about the only way that you can complete passes on Deion is to force him off the ball. He's in man-to-man coverage, gets that legal chuck. Now Flipper starts, stops. Now he comes back to the ball, keeping Deion behind him. When I talked to Chris Miller, he felt the best way to work against Deion is on comebacks. That's exactly what he threw there.
Third down, about 2. Tight formation, Bettis in the eye. Here's the end around to Kitchen. Kitchen cuts it back inside the 30, still on his feet at the 20. Kitchen breaks a tackle, touchdown. Holy cow, what a brilliant run by Todd Kitchen.
You know what that was, Mike? That was simply a guy who was not going to be denied versus a defense that thought, well, he'll go down.
And what a great call, too.
A little play-action fake, of course, to Bettis. Everybody's... Now, he starts out to the right, cuts back into the middle, got great vision downfield, picking up some blockers, and he's just not going to stop. He doesn't care what's going to happen.
And Howard Griffith, number 30, was downfield to throw a block for him that may have gotten him into the end zone.
What a terrific effort.
Rod Middleton checks into the lineup as the second tight end with a score 21-12. They're out to go for 2. Trips right. Miller looking for Hester and overthrow. They ran a little pick play and Hester was open, but Miller missed. So it's 21-12. The Rams back in it after Todd Kitchen's brilliant 44-yard run.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by American Airlines. Something special in the air. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer. Creating a higher standard.
Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, our ESPN crew with you from the stick. It's 21-12, 49ers. Taken by one of the up-backs at the 20. Adam Walker. And he fights his way out to the 29-yard line.
Mike, the 49ers are good, but they can't play one man short. That's what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Deion Sanders should be right there, but he's not. Without that extra defensive back, there's a void. There should have been somebody right there for Kitchen. But this is just great individual effort. Just cutting back, looking for daylight. And there's Deion coming out in a short yardage substitution situation.
Except nobody came back in. Young with the hit. Carter fighting for more yards, got it out to the 35-yard line. Marquez Pope, injured earlier, back into the ball game, makes the tackle. Kitchen out of LSU. Called him the stealth bomber in Baton Rouge. First time in his career he has rushed for a touchdown.
Made a big reception in the first half. Did the same type of running to pick up extra yards to set him up for the field goal.
Don't remember that one for a long time. 2nd and 4. Now it's up to the Rams defense. They haven't stopped San Francisco all night long. Waters trying to get outside and can't. Nice defensive job by Joe Kelly.
There was a case, Mike, where Ricky Waters, at different times when he has the ball, thinks that he can outrun defensive players. Instead of staying up and trying to pound the ball, really like he did last week against Dallas, he thinks he can run the edge. Now he takes this. It's a design play to go outside. Line does a good job of setting up, and they contain Sean Gilbert. But he didn't quite cut it up in where he should have been.
And Kelly did a good job to force him wide. It's 3rd and 2. Young, a little quick toss to Rice. He's got another 1st down. That play has worked every time they've run it.
And obviously you'll notice that it is a sprint out to the left because Steve Young is left-handed.
All Rice has done is caught 10 for 85 yards and a couple of scores so far.
What has Steve Young done with the football? You might ask. I'll tell you. Look to the left side. 7 out of 8, 6 out of 7. Remember, he's a left-handed guy, so that's where he's going to go with the football. Keeps working his side of the field.
Young straight back this time. And almost picked off right in the hands of Marquez Pope. Would have been his 4th. And he should have had that one.
Interesting point. George Dreyer, the defensive coordinator, last night said he stressed 2 things, tackling, and when we have a chance to make a play, we have to make it. Marquez Pope doesn't. There's Marquez Pope. Young is looking down the field, but he comes back over this way. Pope reads the move of his eyes. Now he breaks on the ball. He broke before Steve ever let it go. That was a gift. He just gave one back to the 49ers.
Would have been a big break. 2nd and 10. Rams show blitz, and the play clock runs down. That'll cost him 5. And the 49er offense that looked so smooth in the first half, showing a couple of chinks here in the second half.
He said, get it. That's one of those, get it.
It's a job nobody wants, being a defensive coordinator against the 49ers. 2nd and 15 now. Quick set again by Young for Rice to the 28-yard line. Thanksgiving may be 5 days away, but Jerry Rice feasts on the Rams.
That's cheating. That's just too good. This is a perfectly thrown ball and a great release. Jerry Rice wins this at the line of scrimmage. See how he freezes Israel? Then he gets up the field. Now he's running straight up the field, not towards the sidelines. Ball is perfectly thrown and winds up with the big completion.
He beat Steve Israel, who was in there for Henley, who is still out with a groin pull in the locker room being examined. Waters stumbles forward to about the 26.
Great
covered
play.
By Kelly.
Shane Conlon fired in, just managed to catch a little bit of Ricky Waters' feet.
One of the Rams players says Shane Conlon always looks like he's been hit by a truck, but when the ball is snapped, he's there. 2nd and 8. Young with a pump fake. Now in the flat to Waters. Waters got a great block downfield and has the 1st down.
Oh, boy.
And now we've got more pushing and shoving.
You talk about great presence on a field of knowing where everyone is. Rookie quarterbacks aren't prepared to make these kind of decisions. Steve Young runs a bootleg. It's going to be to the right part of the screen. He wants John Taylor. He doesn't have him. He moves a little bit to the other side, knows where Ricky Waters is coming out of the back. And the other thing is, Ricky Waters just didn't run a fake and quit. He stayed alert for the ball as well.
And William Floyd was the man who threw the downfield block to Springer. Waters tripped up that time. Jimmy Jones, who was prone, got a piece of him. Jerry Rice has just gone over 100 yards. That's the 47th time in his career. Number 2 all-time to Don Maynard, who has 50. If you're a receiver and you're in the record book, Jerry Rice has a bead on you. He's going to own all of them. Every single one. 2nd and 9. Waters on the draw. Rams again do a great job of stringing out the run. Roman Pfeiffer will get credit for the tackle, but he got a lot of help.
It was funny visiting with Jerry on Friday, Michael. He said that this year he feels like he can finally relax. And he said he feels like we don't have to go out there on offense and score every time we have the ball. When the offense comes off the field, he kneels down on the sidelines, watches the defense work, and realizes that they're going to do their job as well.
You mean he set all those records while he was tight?
Yeah.
That's a little scary.
Unbelievable what he's going to do when he's relaxed.
3rd and 13. Rice in motion. Young stepped up in the pocket, got away somehow. Pfeiffer brought him down at the 11. Had Young dead to rights for the sack and missed it. And he comes up a little gimpy.
They do a good job, the Rams do, of getting pressure up the middle. They force him from the outside. Robert Young forces him in. Now he keeps his feet, does a good job, really sort of stumbling a little bit, and that's when you get vulnerable as far as a quarterback scrambling goes.
Fred Stokes went right over top of him, and now Doug Bryan, who has not had a lot of action this year, only 8 out of 11, will try one from 28 yards. And Bryan knocks it through. So Young doesn't get the touchdown this time, but they do tack on a field goal, 24-12. 49ers lead at 24-12.
Oh, there you go. Mike Union Square downtown. Look at that. The Nike has that big sign of Steve Young. And you know what I noticed? Hold it. They're short a few touchdown passes. I'm gonna do him a favor. Let me see. He's got 2 more coming in, and then he's got 3 tonight. Okay. All right. Well, oh, hold it. I'll move that back over here. There we go. There it is. Now we're up to date. There it was. Steve Young. 21 touchdown passes so far.
They're going to need a bigger billboard. Lang from the 9. Tripped up, got to the 27-yard line. So the Rams will start with their 6:16 to go 3rd quarter. Niners by a dozen. 6:16 to go, 3rd quarter of play from San Francisco, where the 49ers have a 12-point lead. Deion Sanders is allowed 1 reception tonight, covering Flipper Anderson. What a huge difference he has made in the 49ers secondary. Rams start from their own 27 out of the eye. Bettis held to 15 yards, shakes off Ricky Jackson, can't get away from Norton, and did not make it back to the line of scrimmage. Have to feel a little sorry for Bettis because there's no way he's going to run against an 8-man front.
Ricky Jackson is just coming hard off the corner. Coming off the left side. Ricky Jackson comes hard inside. I mean, Griffith didn't stand a chance. Bettis does a nice job to get back almost to the line of scrimmage.
Second and 12. Bettis has been held to 13 after a loss of 2. Miller cranks it up. Barely underthrown and just knocked away at the last moment by Davis. Intended for Isaac Bruce, who had him beat by a step.
This is a nice job by Eric Davis playing the ball. Isaac Bruce comes out. Now they're arm fighting, good incidental contact. Davis just does a terrific job of going up and maybe just getting a fingernail. Yep, got that little pinky on it, knocked it away.
3rd and 12 for Miller. Has to scramble, throws on the run complete, but it's going to be short of a first down. Kinchin makes the catch. Now let's check the mark. Maybe close enough to measure. And it will be. Kinchin has made some big plays tonight.
That was a nice scramble by Miller as well, Mike. He gets pushed to the left. Kinchin just continuing to work. Does a good job releasing inside of Hanks. Now, he just keeps coming and coming. He sees his quarterback in trouble. Now he works to an open area. And almost looking at the down marker, leaves the ball right there for the official. All they had to do was get to the 37. And they did.
Nice job by Miller and Kinchin. A fresh set of downs for the Rams, and more importantly, it keeps Young and Rice off the field.
They've got all kinds of different ways to do it. Basically, Jerome Bettis' running will be taken out of the game with a 12-point lead, so you want to spot him. Can't give up on it completely.
Bettis, that time it was a 7-man front, and they still handle him. The tackle by the rookie Bryant Young.
Everybody was talking about where Deion Sanders was going to go play football as he went on his tour. He wound up here in San Francisco, and he's been such a great addition. By coming in and being the cover corner and talking to Merton Hanks, Deion got here and basically said, I've got my side of the football field. You guys go do whatever you have to do. And that's been the approach that the defense has taken. They're allowed to double cover the people away from Deion, and he's created a much more effective defensive scheme.
Derek Davis, the other corner. Bettis on the screen. Room to run. Gets up ahead of steam and has a first down in midfield.
I get so excited when I see somebody do something smart. Jerome Bettis on the screen, he doesn't just catch the ball and turn blindly. Watch what he does. He will turn around, hesitate for a second. Watch this. Bettis is looking at, now watch what he does. This is great. See how he turns? He doesn't take off and run. He hesitates. He sets up the blocks for his linemen. Then he makes the run. This is just great running. See how he pauses? Now he starts. That's a great screen run.
And what a lot of fun he is to talk to. A very engaging young man and a great player. From midfield. Miller airs it out again. Intended and caught by Flipper Anderson. Sanders got lost, and Anderson has the touchdown. He was right with him, Joe, and then hesitated, slowed down a step. 50-yard touchdown.
We always talk about Deion Sanders baiting people, right? Flipper Anderson baits Deion. He stops to let him think that the ball is coming down right here. See a little hesitation? And now he accelerates past him. Boy, that's a great job of receiving. You know, if you're a gunfighter, every now and then you're going to get wounded. And Deion got wounded on that one.
Coming into this game, Flipper Anderson was second in the league, averaging almost 22 yards a catch. That'll help the average. And they'll go for one. Zendejas knocks it through. And the Rams cut it to 24-19. And for one of the rare times, Deion Sanders burned for a score. Deion Sanders, one of those guys that says as a defensive back you have to have a short memory. He hasn't forgotten it yet, though. He's still steaming.
He's mad at himself, and he's thrilled. Flipper Anderson did a great job. You know, there's a sense of satisfaction when you go up against guys that are the best in the business, and you out-execute them. That gives you an added shot of adrenaline saying, wow, this is all right. And anytime anybody goes up against Deion, they have to feel like the ultimate challenge is laid out in front of them.
But there's no way he'll sulk. He'll just go back out and try to make another play. Lovell and Carter are deep, and we have a game at 24-19. Carter from the 20 has a seam. Flag is down. And Carter all the way into Ram territory at the 46. Now we'll check the penalty.
It's going to be holding against the 49ers.
Holding during the run back by the receivers, 10 yards, 1st and 10.
Red Cashin wasn't going to let Antonio Goss, number 98, sneak by him. There he is, number 98, right in the middle of your picture. Going to tackle Lang. I don't know what he got up trying to politic about. It was a
great tackle.
Great tackle.
But it pushes San Francisco back inside their own 25. Out in the flat, complete to Jones. Minimal gain. Tomorrow night, of course, 7:30 is NFL Prime Monday. Mike Tirico, Tom Jackson, Phil Simms. They'll preview the Monday night game between the Giants and the Oilers. Live reports from the Dome. Pam Oliver, Ron Jaworski with the NFL Playbook. And downtown, Julie Brown goes backstage with Giants linebacker Carlton Bailey. All that and more Prime Monday tomorrow night. And we have a prime ball game right here. Young with play action. Waters right in the middle of 5 Rams. Ricky Waters nailed out of bounds, and the flag comes down. That'll get 15 more.
What a great job downfield, though, by the wide receivers, the tight end. And holy mackerel, was Floyd down there helping him as well. William Floyd, his backfield mate. Oh, it's one thing to give up a big play.
Unnecessary roughness, number 26 on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Anthony Newman, the free safety.
It's another thing to tag it on. The play in itself is good, Mike. Young fakes to Floyd. Now, Floyd's sitting down about 4 yards. Ricky Waters is down the field 20 yards. Watch this, right part of your screen. Who's out there blocking Floyd? Look at Floyd. Look at William Floyd. Look at Brent Jones. And look at the yards after the catch because of the extra effort. And there's 15 more.
Spotted at the Rams 25. Here comes the reverse to Rice. Young threw him a block. They'll still only get a couple. Steve Young threw one of those great quarterback, I'm going for your ankles block.
No. That was actually a good block. That wasn't one.
I didn't say it wasn't a good block, but he didn't go up around the shoulder pads either.
Nah, but he got the guy on the ground. Lower left of your screen against Gerald Robinson. There he is, Steve Young coming out. Throw that right shoulder through. Get that guy on the ground. Oh, devastating. See, that as a quarterback, that's devastating.
Devastating, yes, sir. That's what you say in the quarterback meetings.
That's right.
Still only a gain of 3 and 2nd and 7. Play action. Young to his second receiver, and Taylor was going deep. He thought he was going to pull up. Bailey, the closest man to it for the Rams. I think it's the only bad pass Steve Young's thrown tonight.
And, you know, you won it. Was it a bad pass or was he just throwing the ball away? I mean, he had the guy right in front of him, the defensive guy. It was him and the other, so he just turns and throws it. Remember, if you're in the pocket, you're allowed to throw the ball past the line of scrimmage, and it's not intentional grounding. You don't need a receiver in the area.
Look at the numbers on Steve Young, couple drops. And he answered any questions people might have about him last week. I think he's been a brilliant quarterback ever since he's been starting for this team. 3rd and 7. Big rush. Young throws on the run and incomplete just over Nate Singleton's outstretched hands. The Rams defense comes up big.
You're going to start to see the footing get a little bit tough. I think the tide's starting to come in because it certainly affects what happens on the field. Steve Young goes back in the pocket. Stokes comes pressure on the right side. Now Young slips. Right there he slips, loses his footing a little bit. Just can't quite hang it up enough for Nate to make the play.
Doug Bryan, who was hit from 28, will try this one from 41. And he missed it. Bryan wide right. The difference still 5 points. The Rams will have the ball when we come back. Rams by 5. We have switched Deion Sanders to the Sunday night spotlight. Let's check in with Mark Malone.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I heard you and Joe talking about Deion's effect on this defense and how he allows people to free up. Let's take a look at what happened in the video on the touchdown. Watch him. He always plays his hips inside and uses the sideline because he's getting no help. He runs flipper to the sideline, and look, down at the bottom of the screen is Deion, and watch the free safety at the snap of the ball. He moves over the top to give everybody help. Chandler's got him one-on-one, takes his shot. Great job by Flipper Anderson. I'll tell you what, it's not going to happen often against Deion, guys.
Absolutely, Mark. And it looked like Deion might have gotten his feet tangled up. That's why he lost a step. Miller starts from the 31. Bettis, no place to go. He'll lose a yard. Go back to Mark.
Yeah, Mike, just to round out these numbers so far for Deion Sanders, LA's thrown the ball 23 times. They've only chosen to throw at Deion 3 of those times. He's defensed 1. They've completed 2 on him, 1 of those for a touchdown. Mike?
You know, Mark, what was so interesting about Deion Sanders, the chemistry on the 49ers team is so good. They went to some of the players, the veteran players, and said, what is going to happen if Deion comes in here? Is he going to upset the apple cart? They said, no, he'd be a great guy. Go get him. And he has been. Play action by Miller, all day to throw. Throws complete, Flipper Anderson. And Anderson out to the 43-yard line. And you can see Chris Miller and the Rams offense gaining confidence as this game goes along.
Well, Chris Miller has decided to go to his big gun, and that is Flipper Anderson. Deion comes up to try and jam him. Gets a pretty good jam. Flipper holds his feet, but again, does a nice job of keeping Deion behind him and then coming back to the ball.
That's the end of the third quarter from the Sticks. San Francisco 24, Los Angeles 19. Cowboys had 2 quarterback injuries today, but 1, so the 49ers need a win to match the Cowboys for the best record in the conference. Looked like they had it salted away.
Yeah, well, you know, they realize that they cannot let this game get away from them, because then the Cowboy game is meaningless. They're losing home field advantage possibility. That's what they're shooting for. The other thing is, Steve Young said, the reason why I've been able to put up such big numbers against the Ram teams is because the games have always been 4 quarters of hard-fought football.
They're in a battle now. Rams offensive line has done a sensational job. Bettis, boy, can he run. Bettis down to the 37-yard line.
Here's an interesting statistic on Jerome Bettis. We all know what kind of running back he is. He had 243 carries coming into this game. But he is second in running backs to LaShawn Johnson of Green Bay with yards after the catch, with an average of 12. Good job by the offensive line. Tom Newberry, Ashmore. Miller does a good job scrambling around, just moving enough to make the play.
Well, he gets up ahead of steam. You don't want to be a 170-pound defensive back leaning into him. And the 49ers are going to have to use a timeout. I'm sorry, the Rams take the timeout. 14:22 to go in the game, and it was San Francisco that took the time. Talking about the Cowboys and the 49ers battling for the best record in the conference, here's what they have left. And you can see the Cowboys might have a little tougher road, having to face the Eagles and the Browns. Of course, the 49ers still have to play at the Chargers and at the Vikings, so it's not a cakewalk for either one of them.
The question is, which Minnesota Viking team are they going to get?
Absolutely.
Are they going to get the one that struggled the last couple weeks, or are they going to get a team that looked like it was headed towards the playoffs comfortably early in the year?
1st and 10. Bettis. Just nothing there for the big guy on the ground game, and the 49ers have obviously made up their mind. They're going to stop the run first.
Well, Mike, I'll grant that there's nothing there, but when you've got Jerome Bettis, what looks like nothing at all winds up with a 2 or 3 yard gain. You come up 2nd and 7. Now if you want to run play action, they've got to respect him. Maybe he didn't get a lot of yards, but it helps your next sequence of plays.
Well, I'm not saying go away from him. He's too good to do that.
You're right.
Bettis again. Slips 2 tackles. Stiff arm and got down to the 26. There's a flag down. This may be a face mask.
It's going to be, but I think it's going to be against Jerome Bettis possibly for stiff arming. I don't think this one's going to go against the 49ers. This one may go against the Rams. No.
During the run, face mask, number 25 on the defense, 5 yards, first down.
That's Eric Davis.
Boy, I'm surprised. Bettis does a great job. We talked about the quickness of his feet. Look at these feet in the hole. This guy's 245. He breaks away. Now watch his left hand. There's a face mask. They trade it off. I don't believe that.
He is quick enough at 245 to make Merton Hanks miss. Miller on the run and threw it away. Chris Miller has played a smart game for the Rams.
49er defensive coaches realize how good Deion is, but they're not going to turn him loose all the time. They give different coverages. This time Merton Hanks comes over to help out. That's not to say they don't trust Deion, but you can't keep giving a team the same steady diet of a look. You've got to change it up. And Chick Harris has to come up with something just a little bit different now.
2nd and 10. 13-13 to go in the ball game. Howard Griffith, number 30, checks into the backfield for the Rams. Miller with time. Wide open touchdown, Jesse Hester. Somebody blew a coverage and Miller found it.
Not that time. Eric Davis, when Miller scrambled, he had him covered. And then you could see Miller waving upfield. Davis falls down. The turf, like I said, tide's coming in. Turf gets a little tougher to have you keep your footing on. He goes back in the pocket. He studies the defense. No one's there. Good job by the offensive line. Now watch him wave. Go, go, go. You'll see Eric Davis. He falls down and slips. Hester winds up in the end zone.
Miller now 14 out of 21, 206 yards, and leading by 1, they will go for 2. This Ram offensive line, which is a patchwork job, has done a brilliant job. Bettis, 2 points. They spread the defense, give him any kind of a seam, he will get 2 yards. The Rams by 3 at the stick.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your authorized Aurora retailers. By Logo Athletic. Get real with authentic team apparel. And by Energizer batteries. Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
It is a happy Rams sideline as they have taken the lead over their arch rival, the 49ers, 27-24, 13:05 to go in the ball game. Carter and LaVille wait inside the 10. Carter from the 14. Hammers his way out to the 37.
On that last touchdown, Mike, this is a great job by Miller, but watch this. That's Eric Davis. As Miller scrambles, Davis is going to head back here, but he's going to lose his footing. He has him in man-to-man coverage. Hester stops. He slips once. Now he slips and falls down. That's how Hester got so open. On the 2-point conversion, Stubblefield gets blocked by Newberry, and Plummer gets stood up by Chuck Bellin, and Big Jerome winds up in the end zone.
That was the 4th time the Rams have gone for 2 this year, the first time they have made it. Floyd. Joe Kelly grabs him around the neck and plants it.
You know something? The 49ers right now, Mike, have got to feel more pressure than they did when they played the Dallas Cowboys last week, because this thing is slipping away from them from a momentum standpoint. They've gotten one field goal in this second half versus 3 TDs for the Rams.
And not only is this a game they were supposed to win because they've beaten the Rams 8 straight, it's a game they have to win to stay even with Dallas. Dexter Carter in the backfield goes in motion. Waters, big hole up the middle. Waters to the Ram 46. Gain of 15.
I think that's a great call by Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator of the 49ers. You would expect, with the 49ers down, to come out and throw the football, right? They come out and establish a run game to get the offensive line involved. Steve Wallace, number 74, blocks Roman Pfeiffer, number 58, on a big play.
Young forced out of the pocket. Got away from White and forced out of bounds. Steve Young with another great scramble, goes down hard. Grabbing at that left leg. And fortunately, he comes up without a limp. You're wondering how Young does under pressure. He completes 72.9% of his passes in the fourth quarter. Pretty good. Yeah. Second and a yard. Floyd. And the battering ram has the first down to Rams 34. Floyd, 242-pound rookie out of Florida State. And we've already seen how well he blocks tonight.
This kid here is really a complete football player. I was so impressed on Ricky Waters' big run. He's only 5 yards down the field when Ricky Waters catches that ball 20 yards down, and he's down in front of him throwing a block.
First down Niners, 10:55 to go in the game. Young with plenty of time from that line. Rice dropped the ball. That's the second one tonight that hit Jerry Rice right in the hands, and he couldn't hold it.
Todd Light doing exactly what he said. Don't let Jerry Rice beat me deep. He's got a lot of catches, but only 100 and some odd yards. And that's only about 10 yards a catch, but no real big one in it. It doesn't seem like much, but it is very important that if you're going to hold him to just 10 yards a catch or less, you keep him contained.
Pretty good when you feel good about a guy who's only caught 100 yards worth of balls.
Scary, isn't it?
Second and 10. Young, that one short hopped into Taylor, incomplete. Anthony Newman on the coverage, and now 3rd and 10 for the Niners.
Remember I talked about in the second drive of the first quarter when the Rams had to try and hold the 49ers.
Absolutely.
They wound up scoring. Now the situation is reversed. The Ram defense has got to come up with a big play here to hold the 49ers. Important for the 49ers. They've got to get a first down because this is a little bit too far out to try a field goal. Big play.
Young is 23 out of 32, but he's missed his last 4. Pressure on Young, got away again. Wide open, McCaffrey to the 2.
But there's going to be a penalty. He crossed the line of scrimmage. Steve Young was past the line of scrimmage when he threw the football.
And takes away the big gain that would have given them 1st and goal. That's the danger when you scramble. You have to know where you are.
He slips coming out a little bit, and that disorients him. Creating to become disoriented. Whatever.
Illegal forward pass thrown from beyond the line of scrimmage. Number 8 of the offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
I'm going to show you where the line of scrimmage is. All right, here's the line of scrimmage right there. Okay, the 34-yard line. Now, as Young goes back, good pressure, a little twist up front. He's scrambling. There it is. Oh, sorry. That was the line of scrimmage. That's where you threw the football. Can't do that, Steve.
And instead of being able to try a 47-yard field goal, they bring on Wilmsmeyer, and he's got to punt the ball. The field goal here off a wet field would be 52.
Ram defense did the job they had to.
Kinchin filling in for Johnny Bailey as the kick return man, but remember, as a rookie, he had 2 punt returns in one game for a touchdown. Wilmsmeyer just got it off. Kinchin lets it go, and the Rams get a break as it takes the big bounce into the end zone. A punt of 37, but the net only of 17. Steve Young now down by 3. Chris Miller will have it when we come back. George Dyer and his defense, they certainly did the job on the last stand, forced the punt and lead by 3.
Chris Miller's had himself an unbelievable second half. Everything he's done is correct. First half, he was just 50% with 52 yards. The second half, 9 of 11, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and really they've been the result of some excellent scrambling.
And now with the lead, do you go smash mouth with Jerome Bettis? I do. The big man gets it out to the 23. Good tackle by Ken Norton Jr.
Ken Norton Jr. put in a position to be able to make plays and scrape. He has Bettis. Defensive line ties up the Ram offensive line. They do a good job. Norton just comes around. That's a yeoman's effort, bringing down that big horse one-on-one.
It's amazing to watch a guy who's 243 pounds who can get outside. 2nd and 6. Play action to Bettis. Miller under a lot of pressure and throws it over the bench. He has made excellent decisions.
He really has. I like the call. He's playing good, smart football. Your quarterback has to be out there not doing things that hurt your offense. That's exactly what Chris Miller has done. Chick Harris, I like that call there. You fake to Bettis, trying to get a little bit of a big play. You don't abandon the game plan. That's been good to you in the second half. You've done it throwing, you keep on doing it.
9:19 to go in the game. The Rams have come back from seemingly being out of the ball game to take the lead. Miller throws short. That's got to be interference. Kinchin was simply run over by Dana Hall. Holy cow. He just tackled him before the ball got there.
I don't understand it. Absolutely cannot understand what determination. Watch the right part of your screen. The ball is thrown. I mean, Kinchin is just absolutely run over. You're right, Mike.
That's incredible.
And the official is standing right there.
Brings up 4th down, and Landeta will kick to Carter. Well, I don't know what else you could call it. Bad kick by Landeta. Shanked it. Gets a bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the 43. Timeout. 9:08 to go in the game. It's a 3-point lead. 9:08 to go in the game. Rams by 3 over the 49ers. San Francisco has it back at its own 43. And Steve Young leads them out. Intended for Rice, and Todd Light was right there. The numbers on Rice and Young. They have been spectacular, especially in the first half. And there is Todd Light limping off the field. Here are the numbers. Young passing for 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rice, with his 47th 100-yard game of his career, has 2 of the touchdowns. The thing is, they're going to need some more numbers.
Well,
they're behind.
The first 5 drives, he had 11 catches. The last 2, he's been shut out.
Wyman Henderson comes in for Light. Waters just shy of midfield. That'll leave about 3rd and 3 as Anthony Newman made the tackle. Light will go to the bench and be tended to. They can ill afford to have him out. There's Henderson. Well, new guy on the field. Do you find him?
No, you don't need to because you got 3rd down and 3. Your priority here is the 1st down. You don't worry about who. They could put in a whole new secondary. It wouldn't matter.
Go ahead. Go fight. Get in. Go, get back.
Right. Quick post, 1st down.
That was up against Wyman Henderson, but still, I mean, they're going to run the quick post. They ran it twice against Light. They're going to run it against everybody. Again, the footing getting a little more treacherous. Jerry Rice on the quick post. Henderson giving ground. He tries to close. He's not even in the picture. Now he manages to get in there and make the tackle on Jerry.
Todd Light checks back into the ball game. We're told from the bench he had cramps, and he goes right back out to cover Jerry Rice. Young underneath to Waters. Roman Pfeiffer makes the tackle at the 33. And San Francisco's offense looked like it has its rhythm back.
Boy, did you hit that one absolutely perfect, Mike. Absolutely. The 3rd quarter looked a lot like they were out of sync. Steve Young was moving his feet a lot. Once he gets moving his feet a lot, the throws are not as crisp. Now they're in and out of the huddle. Reception, back in the huddle, back out. Great observation, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
2nd and 2. Young to throw on short and overthrows Taylor. Bailey was with him, and Toby Wright coming over from his safety spot to help cover.
A lot of people think you complete deep passes by deep throws, but you win them at the line of scrimmage. Look at the job John Taylor does at the line of scrimmage. And Steve Young would love to have this one back 10 times. He'd complete 9 of them, I'm sure. That time he did not.
Now 3rd and 2. From here, it would be a 48-yard field goal try if they don't pick up the 1st down. Waters, the single setback. And he'll get it on the draw. Slipped a couple of tackles and dives to the 25. 1st down, San Francisco.
That's just a good call. You're doing what you have to do to move the chains to get yourself in position to score. Nice job up front. Bart Oates, number 66. Giants let him go. It's interesting talking to Bart Oates. You know, of course, he played with Phil Simms all those years. He said, getting Steve Young now as a quarterback, he understands what a mobile quarterback is. He said when he had Simms, he thought that was the guy that moved from house to house in the neighborhood.
On 1st and 10. Young to Rice. Lost the ball. Rams have it. Jerry Rice tackled by Shane Conlon. Fumbled the ball. Gerald Robinson recovers for the Rams. What a huge play.
Big plays being made by that Ram defense and the offense. Right part of your screen, little sit down, quick hook. Rice has got it. And the ball just slides away. Good job by Conlon. Pulls his arm away. Jerry never quite gets the ball tucked away.
The Rams on the verge of breaking an 8-game losing streak against San Francisco. And if they win it, you've got to say what a great job by Chris Miller and the offensive line.
They're going to have to reset the clock because it was continuing to run. I mean, we're here in Candlestick, so.
Should not have started. 6:05. Thank you.
In Anaheim, I can understand why it might have been running, but up here, no, you're behind.
I don't know. I have to check the address of the clock operator.
Bettis dives driving forward to the 25. And keep in mind, if you have followed this series for years, this may be the last time the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams play each other. The odds of the Rams being in L.A. next year are not good. The last 16 games in this division, the Rams have won only 2. The 49ers are 14-2. That's since 1992. Chuck Knox trying to change that right now. 2nd and 8. Pressure on Miller, throws it away. Another great decision.
Yeah,
the screen was covered beautifully.
By Ricky Jackson. We saw him come in and make the tough tackle on the pass rush. Now he shows you how the complete linebacker plays. Lets Drayton go down, starts in on Jones, senses the screen. Now he slides back right in front of Bettis, so Miller has nowhere to go with the football.
3rd and 8. The 49ers waving their arms to the crowd, and they get the help. Miller with a shovel pass. That will be incomplete. That is a forward pass, and it's incomplete, intended for Lang.
What a job by Bryant Young breaking up the shovel pass. Oh!
He just collapsed the middle.
What a terrific job. He fires off the ball. That's number 97. Right part of your screen. He's coming in, and it just bounces off his shoulder. It's because of his relentless pass rush that it managed to mess that up.
Dexter Carter back at the 35. Remember, Landetta, who's a tremendous punter, shanked the last one. Nice punt this time. And Carter has to go down on the ground to hold on to the ball. A 42-yard punt, no return. 5:14 left. Rams by 3. It's Deion in the spotlight. Here's Mark Malone.
Thanks, Mike. Maybe a developing story here with Deion. Of course, he's playing with a sore, dislocated finger. 3 drives ago, he got his face mask, or got his hand up in the face mask of Flipper Anderson. I want you to watch this. And right there, I think he hurts the fingers. He starts to put the hand down at his side. He's really not much of a factor on the tackle. Then he comes back 2 drives later, and he starts to play the off position. It looks like he's trying to guard against that finger. In the final drive, he used a bailout technique. We got to see whether or not that's a factor as this game winds down. Mike?
Mark, pretty tough to play one-handed. Waters and Floyd are the backs. Young under pressure. Now he airs one out. Contact downfield. Rice ran into Light. No flag. Let's go back to Mark.
Yeah, Mike, you wonder whether or not Flipper Anderson is talking on the sidelines about Deion's finger, because in the first half, they only threw the ball at Deion 1 time. It was the Hail Mary at the end of the half. This second half, they've thrown at him 4 times. They've completed 3 of those, of course, 1 for the touchdown. Mike?
Mark, that's a great point, and about the only way you can throw at the guy if he's hurt.
Yeah, well, you try. The other thing is, I don't think you can totally go away from him. You cannot eliminate that part of your offense. You have to take a chance.
Not when Flipper Anderson is your big weapon. 2nd and 10. Play action. Young in the flat to Brent Jones. Wide open. And Jones wheeled out of bounds across midfield. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards.
You know, they haven't thrown to him in the second half up until now. Early, yeah, 1 quick one early in the second half, but basically it's been get the ball downfield to Rice, get the ball downfield to Taylor. You lull that defense a little bit of sleep, now you come back to Brent Jones.
Big Sean Gilbert being tended to on the sideline. 6'4", 315, the Pro Bowler. And they'll miss him on the pass rush. Waters. Hasn't been much room to run tonight. Roman Pfeiffer again with a hit. Pfeiffer's had a good game from that right outside linebacker.
Let me set the stage a little bit for you as we move into this 4th quarter a little more, Mike. Right now, I believe the 49ers are in a position where they have got to go on a 4th down if it comes up. If it's reasonable yardage, they've got to go for it if it does come up.
Second and 6. DeMarco Farr putting pressure on Young, and he throws to the sideline, incomplete. Rice couldn't get it. Farr is in there for Sean Gilbert, and he was right in Steve Young's face. Free agent rookie out of the University of Washington. And Sean Gilbert checks back in.
Yeah, you like it when a guy, you can come in cold off the bench, you come in, you put a little pressure on somebody, feel like you've done something. Then comes the big horse, the big bear.
Sean Gilbert says with the double teams, I haven't even been close enough to whiff a quarterback lately. 3rd and 6. Young with a short set to Rice. Horse collared by Light at the 31. Even when you know it's coming, you can't stop it.
Well, what do you do? I mean, if you try and jump inside, he's going to take it up outside of you. I mean, this is what Jerry Rice does to you. He forces you to take away big plays and allow the small ones. Light does a good job. He's not going to let him go outside. So what Jerry does is start outside, come on hard inside, and Light continues to make the tackle. Good, quick, crisp set by Young.
Steve Young just hit the 300-yard mark, 28 out of 41 tonight. Wanted to go deep, now can't find anybody. And throws it away. Floyd, the only man downfield, and he was covered well by Marquez Pope.
Good.
You saw the pump fake. He wanted it all.
They wanted to go up top. They see what they did. Remember, they threw the quick post on the left side. Now what happens, you figure you throw the quick post, you're going to get the secondary and the backs jumping up a little bit. So what you do, you come back on the other side, you fake the same move, and then you try and go up top. Great job by the defense of the Rams.
Sean Gilbert looking a little gimpy, comes out of the ball game again. Farr checks back in. That's the 3rd 300-yard game this year for Steve Young. Draw play, Waters. Pfeiffer again is in on the tackle along with Farr and Jimmy Jones. Time really a factor now, 3:20 and counting. And Gilbert looks like he's in some discomfort. Remember the significance of this game, not only between these two teams in their rivalry, but the Dallas Cowboys went to 9-2 today in that race for the best record in the conference. San Francisco needs a win to tie them. 3rd and 6, 2:58 left. Short set, quick post to Rice, trying to lean forward to get the first down. Pfeiffer well aware of where he was. Keith Lyle was also in on the tackle, the rookie.
You know what I like about the San Francisco offense, besides the fact it's stocked with all-world players, is when they find something that works, they aren't going to go away from it. They're not going to abandon it for the sake of thinking you're going to stop it. They keep coming back. This is the quick post to Rice. 3 steps off, inside. Jerry knows where he has to get to for the first down. See him looking at that line? He knows he has to get to that line if he can.
They'll bring in the chains to measure. Oh. How close is that?
Does the term making it by a nose have application?
The 49ers already in field goal range that could tie it. But they're looking for more with 2:36 to go in the game. Rice now 15 catches, 148 yards. Waters. And the Rams doing a nice job all night long against the run. Shane Conlon in there again. And Robert Young.
I'll tell you something else. It's important for the San Francisco team to be able to run the ball because now they're finally getting their offensive line back together. This is really only the second time that these guys have played together. And what's happening is they have to try and now build towards December and January and into the playoffs.
They let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left from the stick. The Rams by 3 over the 49ers. Rams by 3, 2 minutes left coming up after our broadcast. Sports Center, Keith Olbermann and Dan Patrick standing by. The top stories, an update on the injury to Troy Aikman. The early prognosis, 2 to 3 weeks. The Bills came back from the dead again in our Sunday conversation with George Seifert. 2nd and 8. Gilbert has a twisted knee. He's out of the ball game. DeMarco Farr at that right tackle spot for him. Young to Rice. Touchdown. Steve Young's 4th touchdown pass. Jerry Rice 3rd score. They're not good together or anything. Young, 30 out of 44, 325 yards, 4 touchdowns. Rice, 16 catches, 3 scores.
I got to go back to that billboard.
That's right.
Change that billboard again for Steve Young. Sorry, Steve, you're moving too fast.
The point after is good, and the 49ers go up by 4.
Everybody looks at the end result of pass plays, but you win at the line of scrimmage. Watch the move Jerry Rice puts on Todd Light. He gets upfield, the hard plant left. See how Light has to take that and respect that? It opens up the inside shoulder, and Rice is allowed to come inside. You win pass patterns coming off the line of scrimmage and getting great fire protection on this one by the offensive line. The 2 guards and the center created the lane for Steve Young.
Young celebrates another huge night passing. 75% of it to Jerry Rice and the 49ers. A minute 56 seconds away from getting their 9th win. Inside the 20 this year. 17 touchdowns, 4 of them tonight. Just any numbers you look at for this guy.
Yeah, but the 0 INTs is just as impressive as the touchdowns. He's not making mistakes.
Jerry Rice, just his average evening.
16 receptions. Remember, he had 19 in the 2 previous games. I told you he was going for it all tonight. Unreal.
He loves to play the Rams. Now Chris Miller will have to answer the call. Lang and Kinchin waiting the kick of Bryan. That's Kinchin. He's had a couple of great runs tonight. Kinchin from the 14. Out to the 35.
Oh, Mike, this is what you live for if you're a quarterback. You've got plenty of time on the clock. This is what they practice. You've got 3 timeouts, plenty of time on the clock. You know you need a touchdown. A field goal is not going to do it for you.
The 16 catches for Jerry Rice tonight, a career high.
This is why quarterbacks play quarterback.
Flipper Anderson goes to the top of your screen, and Sanders goes with him. Draw play. Lang dives to the 40. Gain of about 5.
On the other side of that, Mike, this is why the 49ers invested so much money in the guys that they brought in.
Jerome Bettis on the sideline. Lang is their 3rd down back tonight. Miller to the flat. He's got a 1st down. Flipper Anderson tackled by Sanders. Well, the confidence that Miller has tonight is remarkable to watch.
And that is a direct result of the job your offensive line is doing. Can't give them enough credit. They've done a terrific job up front.
Win or lose, those guys deserve game balls. They want the screen. San Francisco defenses it perfectly, and Miller throws it away. 49ers recognize that play instantly.
Well, Ricky Jackson does it as well, Mike. I mean, this is a guy who's only been around for 14 years, and you're going to run a screen on him. I'd pick out Woodall, the rookie. You see Gandy try and throw on him. Boy, that's just a telegraph to Ricky.
2nd and 10, 1:06 to go. Miller misses Lang in the flat.
You know where I go with this football? I go in the middle of the football field. I'd work one of the two inside slot guys somewhere in the middle of the football field, or run the two inside slot guys out, let the outside guys clear in behind them. But I would work somewhere in between the numbers. That's where I would try and get the first down.
The Rams have plenty of time because they have all 3 timeouts left.
Absolutely. That's why you're not limited to a portion of the field with this many timeouts.
3rd and 10. Nice throw by Miller. The catch by Flipper Anderson. First down at the 38. Chris Miller showing you shades of what he was when he was healthy in Atlanta, when he was a rising star in the National Football League.
Big time throw, big time catch and move. Deion's backed off a little bit. He said he had trouble jamming with that left hand. That was his jam hand. Now he has to play back. Flipper does a good job of getting his feet down as well.
Flipper Anderson, 5 catches in the second half after he was shut out in the first. Miller had a man wide open and overthrew him by 10 yards. The late break by Isaac Bruce. Check it, Jesse Hester.
That was the one that he tried to force down the middle. If you're going to play a double zone, that means the corners are up, the safeties have each a half of the field. That middle is vulnerable if you can get by that first underneath set of coverage.
2nd and 10 with 48 seconds left. Field goal does them no good, down by 4. The deep ball again. Anderson knocked away at the last moment by Sanders. What a play. What a play by Deion. Beautifully thrown ball.
Perfect. Flipper's got Deion beat. He's up top on the right. He's got him beat. Look at him play the ball. Doesn't go through the man, just goes around him. This is a perfectly thrown pass. Miller just fires this thing ideally. Great defensive play by Deion. Oh, that's 6. Oh, no, it's not.
That is so pretty. And the Rams have taken a timeout. They have 2 left with 42 seconds to go in the game.
Great timeout. To me, this is a great piece of strategy by Chuck Knox. Your team has just made a big first down. Okay, now Deion has made a big play. The crowd's screaming, let's settle it down a little bit. Let's get our composure. We need the 2 downs anyway. You're going to go on 4th, so it's not like it's impending that you have to get it off. This is just a great piece of strategy by Coach Knox.
Chuck Knox said he came back and took this job because he hasn't won a Super Bowl in his career. He's won darn near everything else.
Yeah, he says that's the only thing that's left, and he wants one.
Built winners wherever he's gone. Division championships with 3 different teams. No one else ever did it. Rice and Taylor, all they can do now is watch. Anderson went deep. Miller threw out. There is a flag down. The indication against the Rams. If it's declined, it would bring up 4th and 10.
No, you can't decline it. I think you cannot. I don't think you can. I think you have to back them up. Maybe you give them another down, but I think you have to back them up. $10 yards is too easy to convert.
Holding. Number 72 on the offense. 10 yards, still 3rd down.
That's Clarence Jones, the left tackle.
Up against Ricky Jackson. He just, he's not that big a guy. He's only at 245, and Jones is at 290. And he can just take and do things to big tackles like no linebacker I've ever seen. He can bull rush the big guys better than any linebacker his size in the game today.
3rd and 20 with 37 seconds to go. Incomplete, huge hit by Merton Hanks on Hesper.
Remember I I talked about earlier with the acquisition of Deion Sanders, you get a Merton Hanks. Merton Hanks is playing safety, but he's really a corner. He can play the corner, so you've got all those corners on the field, Davis, Sanders, and Hanks. Left part of your screen. He sees the crossing pattern. Watch him break. He goes up and makes a play on the ball and darn near takes Jesse's head off.
Everybody on the 49ers says he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl. 4th and 20. Last shot for the Rams. Miller throws underneath and Lang dropped the ball.
Lang wouldn't have made it anyway, but it would have made it a lot more interesting.
Chris Miller dejected on the ground. He has played his heart out tonight. Made great decisions and great throws.
It's interesting, Mike. The last 2 weeks have been big weeks for the defense of the 49ers. They've come up big in both these last 2 weeks, particularly tonight as well. Miller does a nice job of being flushed. Now, this pass is only about a 5-yard pass. He's going to have to run 15 yards. He's not going to make it anyway.
Steve Young, he knows that's it with 25 seconds to go. Miller on the other end of that emotional scale. The other thing about what the 49ers did, they had this game in the bag, then they saw it slip away, fell behind. It takes a great team to come back from that, to recharge that emotion.
They had a couple of opportunities to put it in. They managed to go to the big guns.
The Rams use another timeout to stop the clock with 23 seconds, but they don't have enough. All the 49ers have to do is kneel down and kill it.
This is so disappointing for this Los Angeles Ram team and Chris Miller because they have been in so many games.
Haven't they?
I mean, the only game that they really got blown out in, I believe, was the 49er game.
The first one.
That was it. Everything has been a 3-point loss, a 6-point loss. I mean, they've been so close.
And Chuck Knox knows he is close. He just needs a couple of more players to make this a real good team. And Kinchin will remember this night for a long time, even in defeat with the brilliant run he had on the reverse.
The Rams do not have to hang their heads in shame. Yeah, it's disappointing. That's why you do it, but certainly not in shame.
"19 seconds left. That's the last Rams timeout. And Steve Young will have to kneel down one more time for his club to go to 9-2. The Rams will fall to 4-7, and their chances for a wild card playoff spot fall with it.
You know, I was talking to Steve Young on Friday, Mike. Interestingly enough, we were talking about, you know, what the greatest asset that a quarterback possesses is. And he said, hey, it's a great defense.
Right.
It's no physical tools. It's no mental tools. If you have a great defense, that's the greatest asset that a quarterback can have. He's had that.
Remarkable numbers again for Steve Young. Do you think that the 49ers and the Cowboys are still the class of the NFL?
Yes, I do. I think they're ultimately going to meet for it all.
And that'll do it. The Rams cannot stop the clock again. The 49ers with a big lead, then fell from behind. A heartbreaking defeat for Chuck Knox, but a huge win for George Seifert to match the Dallas Cowboys at 9-2 in the NFC. Our final score, the 49ers 31, the Rams 27. Coming up next, SportsCenter, Keith Olbermann and Dan Patrick will update you on the injury to the knee of Troy Aikman, probably 2 to 3 weeks. The Buffalo Bills come back and win. And our Sunday night conversation with 49ers coach George Seifert. For Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching and good night from San Francisco. SportsCenter is next after this.